Chapter 1406, Lu Chongsheng hurried back to the Immortal Spider Marketplace and saw Nangong Meili and Nangong Yao Yao in their intricate purple dresses. He was slightly taken aback and quickly called out, "Yao Yao, Meili? Daddy!" Upon hearing this, Nangong Yao Yao's expression was full of delight. Nangong Meili beside her was also startled, feeling relieved in her heart. "Yao Yao, what brings you here?" Lu Chongsheng noticed something rushed in Nangong Meili and his daughter's expressions. "Daddy, I came here to say goodbye to you." Nangong Yao Yao tightly clasped her dress, lightly biting her lip as she spoke. "Goodbye." Lu Chongsheng furrowed his brows slightly. He had only recently arrived in the Jin Kingdom. Why was his daughter already saying goodbye? Yesterday, an envoy from the Immortal Lotus sect, White Lotus True Monarch, accepted me as a disciple. I will soon be heading to the Immortal Lotus sect, so I can't stay by your and mother's side anymore. The girl in the purple dress raised her delicate head slightly, her star-like beautiful eyes turning red. Immortal Lotus sect. White Lotus True Monarch. Lu Chongsheng had initially wanted to ask why the Immortal Lotus sect came to the Five Poisons cult. Unexpectedly, in the blink of an eye, his daughter was chosen by the nascent soul true lord of the Immortal Lotus sect and taken as a disciple. Nangong Yao Yao pressed her tender lips together, briefly explaining the situation of the Immortal Lotus sect. Then, with a bright smile, she assured her father not to worry and that she would take good care of herself. Sigh. Lu Chongsheng let out a sigh. In fact, for his daughter to join the Immortal Lotus sect and become a disciple of a nascent soul true lord was a good thing for him. This indicated that his daughter would undoubtedly form her core in the future, and there was a considerable chance of breaking through to nascent soul. But going to such a sect affiliated with the demons, he ultimately felt uneasy. Yet the matter had been settled, and he was unable to change it. "Daddy, don't be sad. Once Yao Yao's cultivation is fruitful, they'll come back to visit you and mother." The girl glanced around, her smile blossoming like a flower as she spoke. While speaking, she reached out her slender, lily-white hand, holding Lu Chongsheng's hand, moving beside her mother, and said innocently, "Yao Yao's only hope is that when I return, he'll see you and mother living in harmony." Then she held her mother's fair hand, placing both hands together. "All right." Lu Chongsheng chuckled softly, thinking what father wouldn't love such an understanding little girl. This moment, Nangong Meili didn't resist. She didn't curse Lu Chongsheng, nor did she fling his hand away, allowing her daughter to do so. Afterward, Nangong Yao Yao felt as though something was still missing. She pondered slightly and quietly said to Lu Chongsheng, "Daddy, now is not the time to use disguise and camouflage." Lu Chongsheng was taken aback and laughed silently, his elegant, handsome face flowing with chaos energy, revealing his true self. "If Daddy wishes to join the Immortal Lotus sect, maybe even the sect's supreme elder would accept you as a disciple." Nangong Yao Yao, looking at her father whose demeanor was as radiant as jade, as handsome as an immortal, blinked playfully and teased. Though she said it jokingly, it wasn't entirely a jest. Mainly because Lu Chongsheng's aura was so extraordinary. Like an elegant orchid, a banished immortal appearing in the world, making people feel as if bathed in spring breeze, captivating hearts, evoking a sense of closeness. Next to him, Nangong Meili, although displeased with Lu Chongsheng, also recognized her daughter's words. Though Lu Chongsheng's aura might not be as sanctified as that of White Lotus True Monarch, directly touching others' bodies and souls, yet he was not far off. Previously in the Tianyuan secret realm, she was influenced by this man's demeanor. In her view, with his character, should he break through to nascent soul in the future, his charm might even surpass that of White Lotus True Monarch. "Yao Yao, when you reach the Immortal Lotus sect, you must take good care of yourself. If you encounter any troubles, endure patiently and write to me." Lu Chongsheng smiled, gently and warmly patting his daughter's head. Then he took out a thick stack of talismans from his storage ring and said, "When you travel outside, be careful. You're lacking in means, these talismans can serve as your protection. Daddy, Nangong Yaoyao was stunned by so many talismans. Previously in the Myriad Beasts mountain range, Lu Chongsheng had said her offensive techniques were somewhat lacking and suggested she keep more talismans for protection, giving her a stack back then. Now he gave her another thick stack, amounting to 40 or 50 talismans. Moreover, they appeared to be second-rank top-level and third-rank talismans. Nangong Mili beside him was also surprised at Lu Changsheng's generosity. After all, third-rank talismans were rare. Even she found it difficult to procure tens of them at once. So, is this man truly a talisman cultivator? Nangong Mili glanced at Lu Chongsheng with astonished beautiful eyes. Within these are the complete 6 Desires Heart Demon technique, which you must carefully study during cultivation, be patient and not rush. Also, this cultivation technique named Immortal Beauty Technique, it will aid you on your journey to the Immortal Lotus sect. If necessary, you may submit it to the sect in exchange for benefits. Lu Chongsheng then took out 2 jade slips, handing them to his daughter. He had previously taught her the first 2 levels of the 6 Desires Heart Demon technique. Now, since she was about to head to the Immortal Lotus sect, he withheld nothing. As for the Immortal Beauty technique, given her daughter's looks, she might not need it. But since the Immortal Lotus sect valued this aspect, he thought he would try to provide some assistance to his daughter. If it didn't work, the benefits from exchanging this cultivation technique at the sect should be significant. Daddy, Nangong Yaoyao's eyes looked dazed, clearly feeling her father's selfless love, deeply touched. It's alright, going to the Immortal Lotus sect doesn't mean you can't come back. If you don't have time, your mother and I can visit you at the Immortal Lotus sect. Lu Chongsheng smiled and said, glancing at Nangong Mili again, squeezing her smooth hand. Yes, Yaoyao, you should accept it. Your mother can also come to the Immortal Lotus sect to visit you in the future. Nangong Mili didn't pull away from Lu Chongsheng, echoing his words, her beautiful eyes full of love. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1407, Seeing Lu Changsheng's genuine affection for his daughter, with no ulterior motives, her opinion of Lu Chongsheng changed somewhat. She thought that if this dog of a man wasn't so full of sweet talk and inclined towards lust, he might not be so bad. The young girl saw that her parents' relationship had eased considerably, her smile was as beautiful as a flower. Then, full of apologies, she said to Lu Chongsheng, Daddy, I already know about Chuanjin brother's situation. If you find him, please apologize on my behalf. Yaoyao didn't intend to hurt him back then. It's alright, no conflicts, no acquaintances. In the future, Daddy will introduce you both to each other. Lu Chongsheng said with a smile. Nangong Yaoyao nodded vigorously. Then she looked at her mother, batting her eyes, appearing pitifully, Mom, if you have the time, please help look for Chuanjin brother too. He's wanted by the ghost demon True Master and it's very dangerous. Nangong Mili knew her daughter was giving her an out, creating a chance to ease relations with Lu Chongsheng. In the past, she absolutely wouldn't care. In fact, she thought if not killing Lu Changsheng's son, that would already be pretty good, yet asking for help? But now, seeing her daughter's hopeful gaze, her beautiful phoenix eyes were full of gentle ripples, she nodded and agreed, all right. Thank you, Mom. Nangong Yaoyao immediately said happily. What's this about thanking your mom? Nangong Mili's voice was gentle, her face full of doting affection, without the slightest trace of her old witch-like demeanor. However, when she looked at Lu Chongsheng, she immediately had a cold and noble expression, with an indifferent voice, I'll take Yaoyao back, and then send someone to investigate the information regarding Lu Chuanjin. If there's any news, they'll rush over immediately. You can continue on to the ancient secluded Immortal City. Even if she had a somewhat changed view of Lu Chongsheng, she didn't show him a good face. Alright, in that case, troubles you, Meili. Lu Chongqing didn't mind the attitude at all. Food should be eaten bite by bite. If it weren't for his daughter's words, even if this woman had melted a bit, she wouldn't be willing to help him find his son. But at this moment, he also had a clear understanding of his daughter's weight in Nangong Meili's heart. He understood why Nangong Meili got so nervous, as if it were a reflex, when she heard he wanted to see his daughter. His daughter was indeed a reverse scale in her heart. Daddy, take care, Yao Yao will miss you. Nangong Yao Yao heard this, and didn't say much more to Lu Chongqing. Her trip to the Immortal Spider Marketplace had already delayed her quite a while. Alright, when Daddy and Mommy have time, we'll come visit you. Lu Chongqing said seriously. As soon as he finished speaking, Nangong Meili swiftly shot off with her magical treasure, breaking through the sky and disappearing. Phew! Lu Chongqing took a deep breath, exhaling long and full, feeling an unexplained melancholy in his heart. But thinking that he managed to come back in time to say goodbye to his daughter, he felt somewhat relieved. Otherwise, who knew how many years it would have been until they could see each other again. At this moment, he thought of his children far away in Yu country's Jinyang sect. Now with the Tianyuan lotus, he could transplant the abyssal ghoul blossom into the Tianyuan lotus upon returning home, and with Lu Miaoge and Lu Miaohuan, head to Yu country to see his children. And having the golden-winged heavenly peng made travel to and from Yu country very convenient. Without thinking much more, Lu Chongqing entered the marketplace. Knowing Meng Xiaochan had sent him a message about the daughter's farewell, he didn't say much. He just instructed her to relay Lu Quanzhen's information to Nangong Meili later, and if there was any news, to directly inform Nangong Meili. Then he rode on the golden-winged heavenly peng to leave, heading towards the ancient secluded immortal city, on the purple flying band. Yao Yao, Mom doesn't have much to give you, take this misty sky bead, Nangong Meili said to her daughter, momentarily not knowing what other gift to give. After all, her daughter didn't lack anything. Lu Chongqing had mentioned his daughter lacked offensive capabilities. In reality, she already prepared many trump cards for her daughter. Except that previously, when Nangong Yao Yao went to the Myriad Beasts mountain range with Lu Chongqing, it was not appropriate to use these trump cards just for demon beast training. Moreover, her daughter had apprenticed to a nascent soul true lord and would not lack anything in the future. So she thought it through and decided to give the misty sky bead that Lu Chongqing had given her, to her daughter. Upon experiencing it, she knew this misty sky bead was very good for disguises. Ordinary nascent soul immortals wouldn't easily see through the disguise. With this misty sky bead, if her daughter was to train outside after entering the Immortal Lotus sect, it would be much more convenient. Misty sky bead? Nangong Yao Yao examined the egg-sized, gray bead shrouded in mist in front of her. Yes. Nangong Meili erased the markings from it, introducing the effects of the misty sky bead to her daughter. Toward the end of her explanation, she added, this misty sky bead is something your father gave to your mother, and now it's fitting to give it to you. Something Daddy gave to Mommy? The young girl blinked her eyes, arching her brows. Could this be Daddy's token of love for Mommy? Token of love? Nangong Meili was taken aback, feeling that there was indeed some truth to it. But recalling how that dog of a man changed his attitude completely because she was carrying their daughter, she huffed coldly and said, it's merely an ordinary exotic treasure. Since it's Daddy's token of love to Mommy, how could I dare to take it? Nangong Yao Yao grinned playfully, waving her hands in refusal. Yet, Nangong Meili still placed the misty sky bead in her hand and gave her some valuable heaven and earth spiritual materials from her storage ring for use in the Immortal Lotus sect, in case she ran out of spirit stones. A child traveling 1,000 miles inspires a mother's worry, wishing only for Pingon and all they could wish for. Even though Nangong Meili was heartless and cruel in many cultivators' eyes, facing her daughter Nangong Yao Yao, she was just a mother wanting to give the best to her daughter. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1408, At this moment, inside the Netherworld Blood Evil Gourd. Lu Chuanzhen sat cross-legged in the blood pool, his face twisted in pain and hideous, his body covered with strange black blood-colored patterns. Behind him, a Kuanpeng demon shadow roared, its huge mouth like a black hole swallowing the surging demonic qi, ghost energy, and blood liquid into its body, constantly refining them. But this energy clearly exceeded Lu Quanzhen's capacity. His eyes glowed with a crimson blood light, his black hair turning gray, the tips blood red, making him look like a demon head. Still not enough, far from enough. He could feel a demonic intent, ghostly qi, and blood evil aura eroding his flesh and bones, even affecting his soul consciousness. If this continued, he would eventually have a problem and possibly go completely mad, becoming a human demon. But he had no way back now. If he stopped, although it could alleviate the situation, he would just be sitting and waiting to die, unable to escape the gourd. He had to keep enhancing his strength, waiting for the right moment. Waiting for the moment the ghost demon true master opened the gourd, or when he reached his absolute limit, then using the Kuanpeng blood-burning technique as a final trump card for a desperate fight to break open the gourd, ancient secluded Immortal City. After arriving in the Immortal City, Lu Changsheng immediately headed straight to the Shadow Pavilion to purchase information related to Chu Changtian and the ghost demon true master. However, there wasn't much information about Chu Changtian, mostly similar to what Meng Xiaochan had previously gathered. After all, no matter how famous a foundation establishment cultivator was, it was impossible for someone to pay attention to them all the time. He then turned his attention to the intelligence about the ghost demon true master. Seeing that the ghost demon true master had left seclusion to personally hunt down Lu Chuanzhen. He appeared 10 days ago in a place called Black Rock Mountain and was being chased by true man Zhentian. Upon seeing this, he bought another intelligence report, only to learn that this true man Zhentian was a loose cultivator, with extraordinary strength and an old adversary of the ghost demon true master, often waiting for the latter. It's too difficult to find someone through this intelligence information. Lu Changsheng felt inexplicably annoyed looking at these intelligence reports. Without his own forces, relying solely on a spy network like the Shadow Pavilion, it was very hard to get real-time updates on Lu Chuanzhen and the ghost demon true master's situation. Even if there was information about the two, by the time the intelligence arrived, they would be long gone. I just hope Chuanzhen is alright, Lu Changsheng could only pray in his heart, then spent money to get the Shadow Pavilion to help find Lu Quanzhen's whereabouts. It must be said, the fees charged by such intelligence organizations were really expensive. To find Lu Chuanzhen, a foundation establishment cultivator, whether there was a result or not, initially cost 30,000 spirit stones. If there was related information, the price would be set based on the level. Concerning his son's safety, Lu Changsheng didn't skimp on the spirit stones and waited for the intelligence in the ancient secluded Immortal City. 5 Poisons Cult. After her daughter and White Lotus True Monarch left, Nangong Mili also mobilized her forces to fully collect information on Chu Changtian and the ghost demon True Master. Several days later, she received a message that the ghost demon True Master was being blocked by True Man Zhentian in Black Fiend Valley. Old demon Zhentian? Nangong Mili's beautiful eyes shone darkly, the light flowing. As a cultivator from the Jin Kingdom, he naturally knew the grudge between the ghost demon True Master and True Man Zhentian. Once in a secret realm, the ghost demon True Master severely tricked old demon Zhentian and took his opportunity, creating a feud between them. Although old demon Zhentian was stronger than the ghost demon True Master, he was cautious of the Yiming ghost sect, so he didn't dare kill the ghost demon True Master outright, often leaving him heavily injured. As a result, the ghost demon True Master spent decades in recuperation, with no progress in his cultivation level, becoming a laughingstock among the nascent soul immortals circle. Since that's the case, first determine if the ghost demon True Master has found this Lu Chuanzhen. After a brief contemplation, Nangong Mili prepared to visit Black Fiend Valley. After all, finding the ghost demon true master was far easier than finding Lu Chuanjun. If Lu Chuanjun hid in a mountain range or small town, unless she hired a divination master, finding his whereabouts would be as hard as reaching the heavens. It would be better to first ascertain Lu Quanzhen's situation through the ghost demon true master, an eternally dark gorge. Boom, 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 a giant man, as imposing as a tower, stood tall, his every move causing terrifying shockwave attacks, toppling peaks, distorting the air, and causing stone spires on the ground to rise and then explode into dust. Pfft! Hidden beneath the gorge, the ghost demon true master groaned, blood trickling from the corner of his mouth. He immediately performed the netherworld blood ghost escape, his whole being like a fleeting blood-colored ghostly shadow, disappearing without a trace. Old ghostly, do you only know how to run? If you kneel now and kowtow 3 times to your grandfather here, I might feel charitable and let you off like a fart. True man Zhen Tian, tall and imposing like a humanoid barbarian dragon, laughed loudly, his voice booming like thunder rolling through the heavens and earth. Although he was far stronger than the ghost demon true master, killing the latter wasn't easy. Besides, the other was from the Yiming ghost sect, so he couldn't actually kill the ghost demon true master. After all, if he sought revenge and settled grudges, leaving him heavily injured, the Yiming ghost sect wouldn't say anything, nor would they want to become his enemy for a ghost demon true master. But if he killed the ghost demon true master, the implications would be very different. It would be an outright slap in the face, a slap to the Yiming ghost sect. If a nascent soul immortal from their sect was killed, and the sect couldn't avenge and regain its dignity, its reputation and prestige would suffer. So every time he cornered the ghost demon true master, he left him heavily injured. Damn you, old ghost Zhen Tian, one day I'll strip your skin and tendons and forge them into the myriad soul banner. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1409. The ghost demon true master was in a wretched state, furious and breathless, cursing through clenched teeth, but dared not pause, fleeing madly. For several decades, it wasn't the first time he had been cornered by the heaven-shaking old demon. He knew the other party was out to humiliate and severely injure him. He didn't know how long had been fleeing, but the ghost demon true master's terrifying face turned pale, gasping for breath. Suddenly he sensed a strange aura. His expression was suspicious, and he immediately gestured with both hands, his whole being resembling a netherworld blood shadow, darted along the aura. Moments later, the ghost demon true master saw a dark pool ahead, swirling with evil chi. Is this the eyes of nether killing? Upon seeing the pool, his expression turned to joy. He hadn't expected he'd be so lucky, encountering an eyes of nether killing here. This nether killing spring could not only refine several core formation spiritual objects, Ming Sha Qi, but also nourish his blood evil gourd, allowing this magical treasure to further advance, ascending to a middle-grade magical treasure. Immediately, a pitch-black gourd appeared in his hand, intending to collect the eyes of nether killing into it. I wonder what happened to that boy? At this moment, he remembered Lu Chuanjun, whom he had captured into his gourd. When the heaven-shaking true man appeared, the situation was urgent, so he had directly taken Lu Chuanjun into the gourd. Now, having calmed down, he recalled that an ordinary foundation establishment cultivator entering his gourd wouldn't last more than 10 days before being dissolved into blood pulp. Considering the time, Lu Chuanjun had been inside the gourd for over half a month. If I let this boy die easily, it would be too cheap for him. As he opened the gourd instantly, his heart trembled, realizing something was off. Saw a blood-colored demon shadow rising skyward. Kuanpeng blood-burning technique. Lu Quanzhen's eyes were crimson, hair ash-white, body enveloped in demonic qi, with a burst of blood light, suddenly shooting out from the blood evil gourd, and immediately casting a third-rank talisman held in hand. Boom boom boom, the third-rank Thunder Talisman activated instantly. Even Lu Chuanjun, the user, was affected, enduring intense pain, spewing fresh blood. In this brief moment, he scattered prepared break technique needles, and then activated the substitute talisman within his sea of consciousness. This was one of his final trump cards. Buzz! The substitute talisman burned fiercely, transforming into a profound force enveloping Lu Chuanjun, forming a substitute puppet at the spot, then attempting to teleport away. Trying to escape. The Ghost Demon True Master faced the sudden third-rank Thunder Talisman and Break Technique needles, also caught off guard. But seeing Lu Chuanjun not only alive, but cultivation level surging, realizing the opponent held great fortunes and secrets, how could he let him escape? Immediately risking harm, spreading his law domain, suppressing Lu Quanzhen's escape. Kunpeng devouring heaven. At this moment, Lu Chuanjun was surging with magic aura, enveloped in demonic qi, almost rivaling a false core. Behind him, a roaring Kunpeng demon shadow, broke through the law domain resembling a parade of hundreds of ghosts or a netherworld hell. While the substitute talisman effect under the law domain was depleted, it could only fly away. Oldly ghost, so you're hiding here. At this moment, the towering figure, like an iron mountain, the heaven-shaking true man stood in the air, speaking in a thunderous voice. Seeing the flying Lu Chuanjun, his brows furrowed, his large hand grasped suddenly, like Five-Finger Mountain, holding Lu Chuanjun. Whiz! The six-winged golden silkworm appeared suddenly from Lu Quanzhen's sleeve, dashing towards the heaven-shaking true man. Yet facing such a nascent soul immortal, body cultivator, even the six-winged golden silkworm, being a rare exotic insect, couldn't cause the slightest harm. This is six-winged golden silkworm? The heaven-shaking true man looked at the bloodthirsty and ferocious aura of the six-winged golden silkworm, inspecting it with some delight. Such a rare exotic insect, even for nascent soul immortal, is top grade, not only for spiritual pets but also for artifact refining and alchemy. Boy, you are the one who killed Oldly Ghost's son, Chu Changtian, right? Good boy, you've got guts. Subsequently, he looked at the blood-red-eyed, pale-faced, thin-figured Lu Chuanjun, laughing aloud. But the next moment, he frowned slightly, noticing something wrong with Lu Chuanjun. TSK, what have you done, boy? Netherworld demon chi, nether ghost energy, blood evil energy fills your limbs and bones, even polluting your Dantian Dao foundation. Your mana is ferociously chaotic, surging against your meridians. The heaven-shaking true man clicked his tongue in wonder, feeling Lu Chuanjun was indeed fierce, able to get himself into such a predicament. After all, without a certain ferocity, tolerance, an ordinary person truly couldn't achieve it. At this moment, Lu Chuanjun couldn't speak, his body burned with pain, akin to being sawed with knives. His situation was already dire, plus he had executed the Kunpeng blood-burning technique, such desperate measures. Now being suppressed by the heaven-shaking true man, the secret technique stopped functioning, aftermath effects immediately appeared. Not only was his essence blood depleted, mana chaotic, the demonic chi, ghost chi, and blood evil energy within also started to run rampant, eroding his flesh and consciousness. Damn it! The ghost demon true master emerged, seeing Lu Chuanjun caught by the heaven-shaking true man, his face unsightly to the extreme. To capture Lu Chuanjun, he had exerted much effort, time, and energy. Now inadvertently, Lu Chuanjun escaped him. If this were to spread, a foundation establishment cultivator escaping from his grasp, soon had become a laughingstock. And now Lu Chuanjun fell into the heaven-shaking old demon's hands, this matter would spread throughout Jin Kingdom in no time. Whiz! At this moment, a purple cloud veil suddenly descended from the sky, an elegant, cold, enchanting, and curved purple-skirted beauty stood atop. She saw the ghost demon true master in the scene, then looked towards the heaven-shaking true man, and then gazed at Lu Chuanjun in the true man's hand. Search the novel fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1410, Ghost Demon True Master and Gentian True Master saw Nangong Mili and looked surprised, not knowing why she had come here. Such a sudden appearance was clearly no coincidence. Oh, isn't this Heavenly Spider True Master? What business brings you here, True Master? Gentian Old Demon saw Nangong Mili's enchanting beauty and breathtaking curves, licked his lips, and his copper-ring leopard eyes revealed a hint of fervor. Nangong Mili glanced at Lu Chuanjun in Gentian Realman's hand, realizing it was him, her phoenix eyes turned icy, and she coldly said, "Name your price, I want this person." Gentian Realman was surprised upon hearing this. He didn't expect Nangong Mili to come for Lu Chuanjun. This kid not only subdued the six-winged golden silkworm, an unusual creature, but also escaped from Old Ghostly, clearly not simple, with great fortune, great secrets. Now that Nangong Mili also comes for this kid, it further suggests he is extraordinary, possibly harboring unknown fortunes. Gentian Realman thought to himself, realizing Lu Chuanjun was indeed special. He audaciously scrutinized Nangong Mili in front of him, then laughed heartily and said, if True Master wants this kid, that's possible. As long as you help me kill Old Ghostly, I'll give you this kid, how about it? Knowing Lu Chuanjun had great fortune and secrets, he naturally wouldn't hand him over easily. Gentian Old Ghost, damn you. Ghost Demon True Master immediately swore. Then he addressed Nangong Mili, "Heavenly Spider True Master, if you help me suppress this old ghost, just name your request, and I owe you a favor. I'm not interested in getting involved in your matters, just give me this person." Nangong Mili wore a regal purple dress, her tall figure exuding a cold and domineering beauty. She came to confirm whether Lu Chuanjun was in Ghost Demon True Master's hands. Unexpectedly, Lu Chuanjun was not in Ghost Demon True Master's hands but in Gentian Old Demon's hands. Compared to Ghost Demon True Master, Gentian Old Demon was more troublesome. Being a loose cultivator, he had no ties and was at the third-rank middle stage of body refinement, acting domineeringly without restraint, very difficult to handle. TSK, not wanting to get involved makes things difficult. Gentian Old Demon scrutinized Nangong Mili's alluring figure and suddenly laughed. "I heard back in the day Xiong Xiangshan was deeply in love with you, serving loyally, even self-detonating his core in Jiang country, utterly pathetic and laughable. I have long heard of the True Master's illustrious name and would love to see it for myself. If True Master is willing to accompany me for a few days, I'll give you this kid. How about it?" Insolent. Nangong Mili's phoenix eyes were full of murderous intent. Had it been someone else daring such brazen impudence, looking at her with such aggressive eyes, they would have had their eyes gouged out and fed to the dogs. But considering Gentian Old Demon's power, not wanting a dispute with him, she suppressed her anger. Now with such remarks, there's no point in continuing the discussion. Woo woo woo. Nangong Mili raised her fair jade hand, a shimmering purple jade flute appeared in her hand, resting against her ruby lips, and a captivating flute sound slowly resonated. SSSSSS, a gigantic illusion of a purple sky spider appeared, lunging at Gentian True Master. However, Nangong Mili knew that suppressing Gentian True Master was impossible, so she immediately crushed Lu Changsheng's sensing jade talisman. Under usual circumstances, she wouldn't seek Lu Changsheng's assistance. But this was about him saving his son, so what did it matter to her? This little lady is quite feisty, just the kind of woman this old man likes. Gentian Old Demon laughed wildly, his iron tower-like body pulsated with muscles, rumbling like fierce beasts roaring. Above his head appeared a dark gold ferocious iron tower, emitting powerful energy, striking toward the purple sky spider. Huff huff huff, the purple sky spider roared, weaving strands of purple silk into a heaven and earth net. Then countless snakes and insects appeared, carrying a sweeping tide of poisonous gas, rushing toward Gentian Old Demon. Buzz buzz buzz, Gentian Old Demon's form was imposing, the dark gold iron tower vibrated, erupting like a volcano, black mist rolling forth torrentially. At this moment, he noticed several invisible spider threads trying to snatch Lu Chuanjun from his grasp. He immediately threw out his hand, pinning the ferocious and pained Lu Chuanjun, whose face was pale, under his magical treasure to prevent Nangong Meili from taking him. Pfft! Already gravely injured, Lu Chuanjun under this spiritual pressure force suddenly vomited blood, nearly fainting. Yet his tenacious and stubborn life force kept him going, clenching his teeth, still pondering if there was any way to survive. But given the present circumstances, he truly couldn't think of any means to escape. The only option was to do everything possible to survive under Gentian Old Demon, waiting for an opportunity. I cannot die yet, my life is just beginning, I still need to witness the rise of the family, I have a pact with my uncle, I must break through core formation, even nascent soul. Lu Quanzhen's eyes were crimson, his face twisted and fearful, his consciousness somewhat blurred. Go! Right then, Ghost Demon True Master seeing Nangong Meili and Gentian True Master confront each other, transformed into a phantom-like netherworld blood shadow and departed. He was injured, and even if he joined forces with Nangong Meili, at most they'd repel Gentian Old Demon. But Nangong Meili wasn't easy either. If he retreated Gentian Old Demon and she sought revenge or benefits, he would suffer massively. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1411, The true man of heaven shaking saw Ghost Demon True Master attempting to escape, and immediately reprimanded Nangong Meili, "You vile woman, get lost." Although he had an interest in Nangong Meili, he knew that given his strength, it was impossible to capture her. Rather than fight her to the death, it was better to continue making trouble for Ghost Demon True Master. Nangong Meili's phoenix eyes were cold and icy, she didn't stop him but pursued from behind, thinking about seizing Lu Chuanjun when the opportunity arose. She looked at heaven-shaking Old Demon in front of her and suddenly spoke coldly, "Heaven-shaking Old Demon, do you know the identity of this child?" She noticed Lu Chuanjun was in bad shape at the moment, and trying to take him would be difficult, so she planned to delay as much as possible, waiting for Lu Chongsheng to arrive. What does his identity have to do with me? Do you really think you can scare me?" Heaven-shaking Old Demon said defiantly. If Lu Chuanjun had some status or background, would he be hunted by Ghost Demon True Master for so long, ending up in such a half-crippled state? Therefore, he directly considered Nangong Meili's words as a bluff. Thus, the three began to engage in combat. Meanwhile, a golden peng bird, shimmering brilliantly and emitting infinite golden light, suffused with demon chi, was continuously tearing through the void, stirring up gusts of wind, flying towards Nangong Meili. Quick! Lu Chongsheng stood tall and imposing on the golden-winged heavenly peng, his expression anxious. As soon as Lu Chuanjun activated the substitute talisman, he sensed his son's general direction. Just after leaving ancient secluded Immortal City, receiving Nangong Meili's message, he immediately knew Lu Quanzhen's situation was extremely dire. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng let out a sharp cry, raising fierce gusts of wind. Its body, like cast gold, was dazzling and majestic, its wings akin to two golden heavenly blades, exuding unparalleled sharpness, stretching in the void, it tore the space. Screech, screech, directly slashing a towering peak that soared into the sky. At this moment, the speed of the golden-winged heavenly peng had surpassed core formation late stage, almost comparable to the escape speed of a nascent soul true lord. If not for Lu Chongsheng having third-rank body refining, the wind force formed by this speed would have torn his physical body to shreds, leaving blood and bones. Black Fiend Valley. Wretch, if you keep pestering me, I'll kill you. Heaven-shaking old demon was incredibly tall, like a small iron tower of a mountain, filled with oppressive might. He originally held a crushing advantage over ghost demon true master. But now, this woman Nangong Meili continuously affected and interfered, occasionally trying to snatch Lu Chuanjun, increasingly aggravating him, surging with a violent mood. Where did he go? A moment later, heaven-shaking old demon saw ghost demon true master's aura disappear, nowhere to be found. His expression turned ominous as he looked at Nangong Meili. It's all because of you, vile woman. Since you like pestering me so much, I'll grant your wish. With that, his body resounded with clang clang clang, like iron towers vibrating, charging towards Nangong Meili, his eyes filled with murderous intent. The demonic techniques he cultivated, though powerful and domineering, had a drawback, affecting his emotions. He originally didn't want to entangle too much with Nangong Meili. But now, burning with rage, a violent mood surged within him, wanting nothing more than to unleash it fiercely. That's also why he frequently hunted ghost demon true master. The long-term cultivation resulted in many negative emotions accumulating. And when he targeted ghost demon true master, beating him to the point of fleeing, he felt immensely satisfied, able to purge the negative emotions from his mind. Otherwise, even though he was extremely vengeful, he wouldn't spend so much time and energy hunting ghost demon true master. Boom! Nangong Meili lightly raised her plain hand, summoning an invisible spider web, smooth and delicate, as thin as a cicada's wings. Boom boom boom, the terrifying force unleashed by heaven-shaking old demon struck the spider web, immediately being absorbed more than half, unable to advance, feeling a current of toxin flowing on his skin. But the next moment, his fist erupted with infinite mighty aura, like igniting a blazing inferno, causing the spider web to bubble like boiling water, sizzle sizzle, its luster dimming significantly. Woo woo woo, Nangong Meili continued to play the jade flute. A shadow of the purple sky spider appeared, spewing the heaven and earth net, countless poison insects rushing towards heaven-shaking old demon. Yet facing heaven-shaking old demon's robust and domineering physical body, he still had to retreat step by step. She and her daughter Nangong Yaoyao were both not skilled in direct combat and martial arts. Moreover, in the battle at Jiuxiao Immortal City years ago, her life-bound heavenly spider was slain by Yun Jianfeng, leading to a tremendous loss in strength, which she hadn't yet recovered from. Otherwise, when facing a body-refining cultivator like heaven-shaking old demon, she could let the heavenly spider engage in the front while attacking by other means. Not to mention annihilating heaven-shaking old demon, she would at least have a 50 to 60% chance of victory. Damn it, how long until that wretched man arrives? Nangong Meili's face was cold as frost, cursing inwardly. If this continued, her magical treasures might be worn out. And if she left in defeat today, it wouldn't be long before other forces knew her combat strength had greatly diminished. Wretch, what are you waiting for? Though heaven-shaking old demon was burning with rage, trapped in a violent mood, he still maintained some sense. He noticed Nangong Meili consistently avoiding direct combat, incessantly retreating, seemingly buying time, realizing something was amiss. I'll make you speak. Heaven-shaking old demon's voice was deep and hoarse, like rolling thunder, with massive muscular black fists shadowing the sky, accompanied by a dark gold iron tower falling in unison, aiming to suppress Nangong Meili. Nangong Meili's phoenix eyes were murderous, icy cold, her hands gesturing incantations, the invisible spider web forming a vault, the purple sky spider consolidating, spewing threads of crystalline spider silk. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:12. Then, he summoned a hairpin resembling a purple jade butterfly and launched it to attack the old demon Gentian. Boom, 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 the black iron fist and dark golden iron tower brutally suppressed, shattering the webs like a celestial curtain, and the freshly solidified purple sky spider, causing them to explode and dim continuously. However, at that moment, he seemed to see a dreamlike butterfly, momentarily dazed. His protective spiritual light was pierced by the purple jade butterfly hairpin, and a drop of scarlet blood oozed from his brow. "You bitch, how dare you hurt me?" The old demon Jintian woke instantly, eyes glaring angrily, fierce light bursting forth, and his mountainous physique erupted into blazing demon flames, with a surging momentum sweeping across a vast expanse of the heavenly dome. Just now, in a moment of carelessness, he sensed a trace of deadly danger, causing an overwhelming fury within him, anger unrestrained. Boom, 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 all the dormant chi and blood magical power within him exploded at this moment, making his 10 feet tall body rise even higher, with each movement seemingly causing the space to explode, filled with a brutal killing aura. "You bitch, die for me." The giant let out a long howl to the sky, with boundless violent fierceness flooding his mind, occupying his thoughts, and attacked Nangong melee. Bang, 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 the power was fierce. The ethereal purple sky spider under the old demon Zenshin's offensive retreated repeatedly, then disintegrated like sand, causing Nangong melee to groan softly, with blood seeping from the corner of her mouth. Damn! Nangong melee's face was somewhat pale, her phoenix eyes extremely cold, feeling suffocated and angry. If her life-bound heavenly spider was still present, it wouldn't be like this. Moreover, that damned man still hasn't arrived. "Bitch, I'm going to kill you." Jintian True Man's massive body burned with a layer of blazing demon flames, a frenzied violent and chilling murderous intent surging like a tide towards Nangong melee. Whoosh! Nangong melee realized Jintian Old Demon's state was not right, immediately turned and left, temporarily avoiding the sharp edge. "Where do you think you're going, bitch?" The old demon Jintian, like a demon god of purgatory, tore through the void, raising violent aura like a dragon, and reached Nangong melee. Bang, 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 the black giant fists shattered layers of void. The dark golden iron tower bore down from the heavenly dome like a mountain, exuding endless suppressive aura. Whoosh! Nangong melee managed to avoid it, but still felt her chi and blood magical power surging turbulently, letting out a muffled groan. Boom, boom, boom. The old demon Jintian continued his assault, the visible force gathered in his fists, violently rampant, with each punch seeming to carry endless fierce beasts roaring, forcing Nangong melee to retreat step by step, spitting blood. If Lu Chuanjun weren't in the hands of the old demon Jintian, Nangong melee would have departed by now. After all, she could tell Lu Quanzhen's situation was extremely dire. If she detached and left now, and Jintian Old Demon disappeared afterward, it would not be easy to find him and Lu Chuanjun again. Just wait a little longer, if that damned man still doesn't come, don't blame me. Nangong melee's beautiful eyes were icy cold, thinking to herself. For the sake of her daughter, she's willing to help. But she'll never sacrifice herself. Boom, 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 the two continued their combat. At this moment, Nangong melee was completely no match for Jintian True Man, her face extremely pale, ready to leave. If she continued to drag this on, she herself would be in danger. Just then, both sensed a surging and astonishing demon aura rolling towards this direction. Demon aura? Both were somewhat puzzled, unsure why such a massive demon aura appeared here. Could it be that damned man has come? Nangong melee pondered to herself. Previously, she heard her daughter mention Lu Changsheng had a third-rank peng bird, suspecting that the golden peng bird she saw at the border was indeed Lu Changsheng's mount. A few breaths later, she saw a golden rainbow shooting across, speeding swiftly, its momentum rushing fiercely. That damned man finally came. Although the golden-winged heavenly peng's speed was incredibly swift, as a nascent soul immortal, she barely made out the figure standing on it. Even though she had guessed before, seeing this familiar golden-winged heavenly peng, Nangong melee was still extremely surprised. After all, to use such a demon king as a mode of transport, one should be at least a core formation peak existence, right? But Lu Changsheng had just recently broken through core formation. Considering Lu Changsheng's various circumstances, Nangong Mili no longer used common sense to measure him, feeling a surge of relaxed joy in her heart, and an unprecedented sense of security. The old demon Zenshin's mind, full of violent aura, cleared slightly under this overwhelming demon aura, with reason prevailing. Seeing Nangong Mili's expression, he immediately realized something was wrong. Leave. Without hesitation, he decisively planned to escape. After all, the spiritual pressure exuded by this vast demon aura had reached the third-rank late stage. If it came to a fight, he would be entirely outmatched. Yin-yang Qi grasp. A indifferent voice rang out. Then, the winds and clouds on the heavenly dome churned, revealing a gigantic hand imprint intertwined with yin and yang, 100 meters wide, rolling down. Not good. Being a loose cultivator, able to rampage for so long, the old demon Jintian was indeed extraordinary. His muscles rippled as if made of piled rocks, exuding endless power, directly breaking through the suppression of the yin-yang Qi grasp. Golden Peng. Lu Changsheng's expression was indifferent, his robes fluttered as he rode the golden-winged heavenly Peng towards the old demon Jintian. Pooh! The old demon Zenshin's prideful physical body was pierced at this moment by the golden-winged heavenly Peng's wing, carving a deep scar, with blood splattered across the sky. This, even though Nangong Mili knew the strength of such a demon king was terrifying, she was still startled by this scene. With such a demon king, Lu Changsheng could probably fight even a late-stage core formation great cultivator. Given the strength and methods of the opponent, perhaps even late-stage core formation cultivators are not his match. Ah! Who are you, sir? What offense have I committed against you? The old demon Jintian, though suspecting Lu Changsheng was aligned with Nangong Mili, still felt baffled. Unaware of when Jin Kingdom produced such an existence. Lu Changsheng remained silent. The golden-winged heavenly Peng let out a screech, continued to attack the old demon Jintian, and carved another deep wound on his chest, more blood spilled. Boom! Meanwhile, the yin-yang Qi grasp rolled downwards, directly subduing and suppressing the recently domineering old demon Jintian. His bones crackled, and his mouth let out a painful sound. Mili, are you alright? Lu Changsheng turned to Nangong Mili beside him, instantly noticing her mana was disordered, having suffered significant injuries, gently asking with concern. He's yours to deal with. Lu Changsheng casually threw the old demon Jintian to Nangong Mili. Then he reached out, and from the dark golden iron tower, the pale and agonized Lu Chuanjun was drawn before him. Chuanjun. Lu Changsheng gazed at Lu Chuanjun before him with a solemn face. Father, Lu Quanzhen's consciousness was gradually fading. But upon hearing the familiar voice, seeing the familiar dark brocade robe before him, he recognized the scholarly gentleman before him as his father right away. Although unsure why his father appeared here, seeing Lu Changsheng, his tense mind relaxed slightly, and he suddenly fainted. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:13. Lu Changsheng looked at the unconscious Lu Chuanjun, his brow furrowed. The situation was very serious. His meridians, dantian, limbs, and bones were all filled with chaotic, violent, cold, and fierce energy. This energy not only eroded Lu Quanzhen's flesh and mana but also polluted his sea of consciousness and soul. Lu Changsheng immediately understood why Lu Quanzhen's cultivation level had broken through so quickly. By using demonic techniques to devour various chaotic energies, he stimulated and squeezed his life potential, thus madly enhancing his cultivation realm. The consequences were chaotic mana, a flimsy foundation, unstable realm, and a tendency toward deviation. Besides these problems, Lu Chuanjun was also severely injured, having used the life-burning secret technique, which led to a deficit in essence blood and damaged his foundation. The Dao foundation in his Qi ocean core was dim and dull, polluted by wisps of blood fiend, with several cracks faintly visible. Boom! Without hesitation, Lu Chongsheng ran the yin-yang creation scripture to sort and suppress the chaotic and violent energies and mana within Lu Chuanjun. At his chest, the 9 treasures Rui Bone radiated, bursting with brilliant glow, as mysterious runes intertwined and flowed, containing an indescribable, vast secret power, pouring into Lu Quanzhen's body. This is... Nangong Mili, standing beside him, was surprised to see the vast might and dense vitality emanating from Lu Changsheng's chest. She never expected Lu Chongsheng to have such means. It was known that cultivators skilled in combat techniques rarely cultivate healing divine skills. One reason was that cultivation techniques were incompatible, difficult to master, and even if mastered, they were not very effective. Another reason was that one's time and energy were limited, making it impossible to cultivate too many divine skills. Though she couldn't discern the specifics of Lu Changsheng's divine skill, she could tell from the interwoven and blossoming brilliant runes and the pervasive, vast chi mechanism that it was extraordinary. How many tricks does this wretched man have? Nangong Mili thought to herself, feeling that Lu Chongsheng was shrouded in mystery. Moments later, Lu Chongsheng exhaled deeply and stopped the operation of the 9 treasures Rui Bone. Lu Quanzhen's situation was very serious. Even he could only temporarily restrain it, unable to fully resolve it. How is it? Nangong Mili, with a cool and alluring demeanor, asked aloud. Even though she had no feelings for Lu Chuanjun. As a mother, knowing her child was severely injured, she knew how anxious one would be. The situation is quite serious, needs to be slowly resolved. Lu Chongsheng said solemnly. Lu Quanzhen's situation could only be gradually adjusted. Unless he happened to acquire heavenly and earthly treasures specifically for this, it couldn't be resolved in a short time. Then he held Nangong Mili's jade wrist, expressing concern. Mili, are you all right? If Nangong Mili hadn't arrived early today to hold off the tremor old demon, afterward his son Lu Chuanjun would have been rendered a ruined man even if he didn't die. Nangong Mili instinctively tried to shake off Lu Chongsheng. But failing to do so, she let him hold her, saying with a cool and noble expression, "I'm fine." Lu Chongsheng saw that Nangong Mili indeed had no major issues, only minor injuries, along with chi blood shocks and mana disturbances. Yet to express gratitude, he activated the 9 treasures Rui Bone. Boom, brilliant light flared, runes blossomed, interwoven a dense vitality secret power flowing toward Nangong Mili. The milky green healing divine light rippled. Nangong Mili immediately felt a nurturing and comforting warmth akin to being in the womb, as if soaking in a hot spring, her body and mind relaxing tremendously. The disturbed chi and blood magical power and the Bodis injuries were repaired and purified. This wretched man actually doesn't only focus on his son. Nangong Mili felt a bit delighted, remembering her daughter Nangong Yaoyao's words. As long as she was willing to take a step back, lower her stance, Lu Chongsheng would also take a step back, lower his stance. No need for this, I can recover on my own in a few days. Nangong Mili said coldly, her voice indifferent but not entirely dismissive. Even though she was willing to step back and ease relations, she still couldn't directly lower her stance and show Lu Chongsheng a good face. No worries. Lu Chongsheng knew she was the type who had pride despite her actions contradicting her words, and continued to nurture her. After it was almost done, he stopped, slightly exhaustedly exhaling. Using the healing divine light consumed him as well. Manwise, thanks to the Tianyuan Supreme King Lotus, it wasn't a major issue. But using such a divine skill also depleted his essence energy. Mili, what just happened? Why was Chuanjun in this person's hands? Lu Chongsheng asked Nangong Mili about the earlier situation. Through previous investigations, he had learned that the giant before him was the tremor old demon. But wasn't his son being pursued by the ghost demon True Master? Why was he in the tremor old demon's hands? I don't know either. Nangong Mili's tone and attitude improved slightly when speaking to Lu Chongsheng, explaining that when she arrived, Lu Chuanjun was already captured by the tremor old demon. It seemed that Lu Chuanjun had escaped the ghost demon True Master's grasp only to encounter the tremor old demon. Where is the ghost demon True Master? Lu Changsheng's eyes deepened, exuding a cold, murderous intent. Lu Quanzhen's plight was inseparable from that person. This debt, he would naturally settle with him. At that time, the ghost demon True Master was being chased by the tremor old demon. It was her first time seeing Lu Changsheng angry, and for some reason, Nangong Mili felt a surge of inexplicable emotion. Her heart trembled. This man wasn't devoid of temper, he simply didn't get angry easily under normal circumstances. If she truly enraged him, how would she be treated? Nangong Mili suddenly wondered. The ghost demon True Master was injured considerably. Heres a high likelihood he'll return to the Yiming ghost sect to heal. Nangong Mili said. Search the novel Fire. Net website on Google to access chapters of novels early and in the highest quality. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1414, Yiming Ghost Sect. Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed slightly. Although the Yiming ghost sect doesn't have a nascent soul true lord to oversee them, the sect has the supreme treasure myriad ghosts blood pool to stabilize their foundation. And the supreme elder of Yiming ghost sect is already at the core formation peak, just one step away from advancing to the nascent soul. Don't be impulsive. Nangong Mili seemed worried that Lu Changsheng might directly go to the Yiming ghost sect to cause trouble and immediately spoke up. Don't worry. Lu Changsheng smiled and looked at the old demon Zhentian, asking, what do you plan to do with this person? Killing him easily would be too cheap for him. First, take him back as a blood slave, cultivate goo insects from him, and once his potential is exhausted, sell him to the Heavenly Corpse sect for corpse refinement. Nangong Mili spoke coldly, her phoenix eyes filled with malice. When the opponent fought with her, he called her a lowly wench, and she naturally held that in her heart, not letting him off easily. Lu Changsheng, indeed, the demon path is just that. Even if this woman shows tenderness and care in front of her daughter, being gentle like water, she is ultimately a demoness of the demon path, known as a femme fatale, ruthless and merciless. But in these matters, he couldn't really persuade her. After all, according to the principle of making full use of things, her actions didn't seem wrong, just a bit cruel to hear. And in his early years, he too had fed his six-winged golden silkworm with corpses, abyssal ghoul blossoms. However, hearing about corpse refinement, he thought of the endless guileful head in his corpse bag. This old demon Zhentian with core formation cultivation and third-rank body refining, if refined into a ghost slave, would have considerable combat power. Let's go back first. Lu Changsheng took Nangong Mili's jade hand, bringing the fainted Lu Chuanjun onto the back of the golden-winged heavenly pang, preparing to go back to treat Lu Quanzhen's body. Nangong Mili came onto the golden-winged heavenly pang, feeling somewhat nervous and uneasy. After all, this was a third-rank demon king. A demon king that had suppressed the old demon Zhentian with just one move. And now, she was actually using such a demon king as a means of transportation. Nangong Mili slightly tilted her head, her beautiful phoenix eyes glancing at the elegantly handsome Lu Changsheng. Feeling that his tall and upright figure seemed to have grown even more magnificent. However, this man's true appearance is indeed quite handsome. Let's go. Lu Changsheng noticed Nangong Mili's gaze, smiled, and signaled the golden-winged heavenly pang to return to the immortal spider marketplace. Then he continued to use the yin-yang creation scripture to sort out Lu Quanzhen's condition. The situation of the other person was extremely troublesome. Not only were his meridians and physical body filled with violent and chaotic energy. His Tao foundation, Qi ocean core were also polluted, the mana was icy and ferocious, unable to nourish the body, even constantly damaging the meridians and physical body. Let me see his condition. At this moment, Nangong Mili's red lips parted lightly, and she spoke. She was from the Five Poisons cult, skilled in unorthodox techniques, and saw the cold and vicious qi flowing through Lu Quanzhen's body, wondering if she could resolve it. "All right." Lu Chongqing nodded. As soon as Nangong Mili examined Lu Quanzhen's body, she frowned slightly. She knew the situation was bad, but she didn't expect it to be this dire. If not for the rich vitality continuously nourishing his body, he probably wouldn't last a few days. When she saw Lu Quanzhen's qi ocean core, her eyebrows furrowed even more. This mana. Why does it resemble the netherworld blood evil technique of the ghost demon true master? Nangong Mili saw that Lu Quanzhen's mana was completely incompatible with his cultivation technique, both icy and extremely vicious. At this moment, she furrowed her brows again, realizing something amiss. Even though Lu Quanzhen's foundation was unstable and his state very poor, his cultivation level was clearly at the 9th level foundation establishment. But she remembered that according to the intelligence, he was only at the foundation establishment middle stage, having just broken through to the 4th layer not long ago. How did he suddenly break through from the foundation establishment 4th layer to the 9th level foundation establishment? His situation seems like someone transmitted their cultivation to him, forcefully raising his level, which resulted in deviation, followed by using a life-burning secret technique, leaving him heavily injured. Nangong Mili's eyebrows knit tightly, explaining her assessment. But in her view, Lu Quanzhen's situation didn't seem like someone transmitted their cultivation to him. Transmitting cultivation, netherworld blood evil technique? Lu Chongqing roughly guessed that his son had fallen into the hands of the ghost demon true master, who, in order to escape and increase his strength, had used the Kuanpeng devouring heaven demonic technique to devour a massive amount of netherworld blood evil energy. This also explained why his mana was chaotic, ferocious, and filled with blood evil energy. "Mili, do you have any solutions?" Lu Chongqing inquired. The 5 Poisons cult has a type of goo insect called bloodlight goo, which feeds on blood evil, and might temporarily relieve his condition. There's also a goo insect called flesh white bone, which can constantly provide nourishment and heal his flesh injuries, but resolving this completely would be difficult. Nangong Mili shook her head. Does the Yiming ghost sect have a method for this? Lu Changsheng's eyes narrowed slightly as he continued to ask. His son falling to this state was linked to the ghost demon true master, and perhaps they had a way to resolve it. Nangong Mili looked at Lu Chongqing, paused for a moment, then spoke with her red lips slightly parted. His mana is similar to the netherworld blood evil technique. The Yiming ghost sect might have secret medicines or techniques to assist in this cultivation method, possibly easing the condition, but I'm not sure. I understand. Lu Chongqing nodded his head. Nangong Mili looked at Lu Chongqing, hesitated for a moment, and then spoke in an indifferent tone. I can go to the Yiming ghost sect later to see if I can obtain some information. There's no rush. Lu Chongqing shook his head, not wanting to trouble Nangong Mili. As he understood, although the 3 great demonic sects of the Jin Kingdom had interactions and collaborations, their relationship was only average. If Nangong Mili went to the Yiming ghost sect, they would naturally show her some courtesy. But when it comes to the inheritance of cultivation techniques, it might not be that simple. So he planned to wait until his son woke up to discuss it further. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-15, Lu Lang. Immortal Spider Marketplace. Meng Xiaochan saw Lu Chongqing return, and immediately called out. She then reported information about Lu Qiuanzhen and Ghost Demon True Master, stating that her master had gone out to find Ghost Demon True Master a few days ago. I already know. Lu Chongqing spoke, indicating that he had already found Lu Qiuanzhen and just parted ways with Nangong Mili. Xiaochan, is there a second-rank alchemy room here? He inquired aloud, intending to open a furnace to refine pills for Lu Qiuanzhen to address the situation. There is. Meng Xiaochan didn't know why Lu Chongqing was asking this, but still nodded in response. Immediately, Lu Chongqing asked Meng Xiaochan to help him gather some spiritual medicine, then released Lu Qiuanzhen from the Tianyuan lotus to continue nurturing and healing his body. Lu Quanzhen's vitality was stabilized now. The only problem was his sea of consciousness soul being corroded by blood fiend, which was very troublesome. Even if Lu Chongqing wanted to resolve it, he had to be extremely cautious. Several days later, Nangong Meili arrived at the Immortal Spider Marketplace and was somewhat surprised to see Lu Chongqing practicing alchemy. Although she had previously read the information and knew Lu Chongqing was a second-rank alchemist, she noticed that Lu Changsheng's technique was unlike ordinary second-rank alchemists. However, thinking of Lu Changsheng's various methods, having such alchemy skills seemed unremarkable. This is blood-light goo and flesh-white bone, they only need simple refinement before they can be implanted into him. Nangong Meili, dressed in a purple skirt, gracefully tossed 2 goo jars to Lu Chongqing, her expression cold and beautiful. "Thank you for your hard work, Meili." Lu Chongqing smiled faintly and opened the goo jars. Then, with a subtle mental movement, a pink peach blossom mark appeared on his forehead, refining the goo insects in his hand. During this process, the disguise on his face also automatically disappeared. Nangong Meili saw the peach blossom mark on Lu Changsheng's forehead, feeling an inexplicable tremor in her heart, and the goo insects inside her quivered. So this is the goo insect of this awful man. Nangong Meili had long known that Lu Chongqing harbored a powerful goo insect within. But she didn't know what kind of goo insect it was. Now, seeing the pink peach petal on Lu Changsheng's forehead, she realized that this was his goo insect. What kind of goo is this? Yet it really is like him, like a peach blossom spirit. Nangong Meili saw that his handsome face had an added touch of wicked charm, internally cursing. But for some reason, she found this appearance unusually pleasing to the eye. Even more than the previous look, resembling a banished immortal descending to the mundane world. Lu Chongqing didn't pay attention to Nangong Meili's gaze, refining the 2 goo insects in his hand. These were merely second-rank goo insects. With the will of the peach blossom goo suppressing them, combined with his yin-yang magic power and tai divine soul, they were refined in a moment. Then, with a slight mental gesture, he infused the 2 goo insects into Lu Quanzhen's body. Buzz, as soon as the blood-light goo entered Lu Quanzhen's sea of consciousness, it began to absorb the blood fiend intent within. This blood fiend qi was extremely troublesome. Even Lu Chongqing had to be cautious in dispersing it. Yet this blood-light goo was able to absorb the blood fiend aura from his sea of consciousness without harming Lu Quanzhen's soul. At the same time, flesh-white bone began to flow with medicinal power, constantly nourishing Lu Quanzhen's condition. These goo insects indeed have their merits. Lu Chongqing nodded silently. He thought to himself that among the 100 arts of cultivation, goo insects could form a distinct path, and there were indeed many goo cultivators with some substantial capabilities. Immediately afterward, he placed a peaceful spirit talisman on Lu Quanzhen's forehead. Puff! Several days later, under Lu Changsheng's treatment, Lu Qiuanzhen suddenly coughed up a spurt of foul blood and regained consciousness. "Father!" He opened his blood-reddened eyes, looking at the Lu Chongqing in front of him, appearing somewhat dazed and confused, almost believing he was dreaming. "Qiuanzhen." Lu Chongqing looked at the pale complexion, gray-white hair, and blood-red eyes of Lu Qiuanzhen, filled with blood-fiend intent, feeling a heaviness in his heart. "Father, is it really you?" Lu Qiuanzhen was still somewhat incredulous. Although before losing consciousness, he seemed to have seen Lu Chongqing. But he vaguely remembered falling into the hands of the earth-shaking old demon. This person's name was known to him, even stronger than the ghost demon True Master. How did Father save him from the earth-shaking old demon? It seemed like there was a golden light. He recalled the situation at that time, only remembering a brilliantly dazzling golden light spreading, and a majestic demon aura. Then the earth-shaking old demon seemed to let out a tragic wail. "It is me." Lu Chongqing nodded, then asked in a deep voice, "How did you end up like this?" Lu Chuanzhen felt his entire situation, then calmed his mind and spoke aloud. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-16, Lu Chuanzhen truthfully recounted his encounter. He met the ghost demon True Master, got trapped in the netherworld blood evil gourd, and then chose to cultivate the Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique. I knew there was a problem with this cultivation technique, but I didn't expect it to be like this. Cough, cough, cough. Lu Quanzhen's face was pale and extremely weak, coughing violently several times. At first, relying on the Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique's secret technique, he survived by a stroke of luck in the black mist swamp, thinking he had some control over this demonic technique. But he didn't expect the cultivation technique to be so overpowering, completely out of his control. Of course, if he were given another chance, he would still make the same choice. Because at that time, he had no other choice but this one method. If it weren't for the encounter with the shocking heaven old demon, he might have really escaped from the ghost demon True Master's hands. But speaking of it, if it weren't for the shocking heaven old demon, he might not have had the chance to escape at all. Upon hearing this, Lu Changsheng sighed softly, not knowing what to say. After a pause, he asked, "Does your cultivation technique have a solution to this problem?" "It's rather difficult," Lu Chuanzhen shook his head with a bitter smile. If it was just relying on the Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique to break through to the 6th layer of foundation establishment, or even the 7th layer, he still had confidence to resolve it. He could slowly reconcile by using heavenly and earthly treasures, cultivation technique secret elixirs, and the Yin-Yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique, refining the violent chaotic energy, and baptizing his Tao foundation and mana. But leaping to the 9th layer of foundation establishment in one go, absorbing too much netherworld blood evil, caused the cultivation technique to go out of control, with physical body, cultivation technique, and mana repelling each other. Moreover, he was now in an extremely poor state, with his physical body and foundation damaged, polluted by the blood evil, making it difficult to cultivate. "Explain this cultivation technique to me in detail." Lu Changsheng pondered slightly. He had heard Lu Chuanzhen mention this cultivation technique in the past, but wasn't clear on the specifics. Now, looking at the other person's situation, he wanted to see if the problem could be fundamentally resolved. "Yes, father," Lu Chuanzhen didn't hide anything and explained the Kunpeng devouring heaven demon god technique in detail. Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique, Lu Changsheng frowned slightly, thinking to himself that this cultivation technique was indeed a thorough demonic technique. By devouring all things in the world and living beings' origin sources to elevate oneself, it presented no solutions, only mitigation and reconciliation methods. The whole cultivation process could be described as 9 deaths and 1 life, depending on whether one's fate was strong enough. However, without cultivating the Kunpeng devouring heaven demonic technique, just cultivating the Yin-Yang 5 elements Kunpeng technique, it was also a top-level cultivation technique. "Father, how come you are in the Jin kingdom?" Seeing his father silent, Lu Chuanzhen felt somewhat ashamed and softly asked. He recalled that when he fell into the hands of the shocking heaven old demon, a female cultivator in core formation came, seemingly the heavenly spider True Master from the 5 Poisons cult. But he really didn't know when his father appeared. Besides, Jiang country and Jin kingdom were far apart. How did his father come to Jin kingdom? "I happened to have some matters in Jin kingdom, and upon hearing news of your situation, I sent people to investigate your whereabouts." Lu Changsheng looked at him and said. "You should rest well first, we can talk about things later." Seeing his son was still very weak, Lu Changsheng did not talk much further. He handed a bottle of elixirs to him, advising to take 2 daily, then left the room, pondering how to solve Lu Quanzhen's problem. Letting his son live was naturally not difficult. As long as he helped him sort out mana periodically and nurtured the physical body, there would be no major issue. But if his son's condition couldn't be resolved, it would be tantamount to being semi-crippled, unable to cultivate further. Besides the blood evil foundation issue, he also faced a big issue: lifespan. Name: Lu Chuanjun, lifespan, 60-69, talent, 4th grade spiritual root, cultivation level, foundation establishment 9th layer, talent, combat law compatibility, 69%. Lu Chuanjun only had a lifespan of less than 100 when he broke through to the 9th layer of foundation establishment. After being heavily injured, having used the life-burning method, his lifespan was further reduced to only 9 years. Moreover, he had consumed lifespan extension pills in his early years. Now, if he wanted to continue extending his lifespan, he would have to consume 3rd-rank lifespan extension pills or some rare spiritual medicine for extension. But without solving his situation, even obtaining 3rd-rank lifespan extension pills would merely treat the symptoms, not the root cause. To untie the bell, the person who tied it must do it. Looks like I have to visit the Yiming ghost sect. After pondering for a long time, Lu Chongsheng decided to visit the Yiming ghost sect later, to see if the Yiming ghost sect had a way to fundamentally resolve the netherworld blood evil. Theoretically, as long as the netherworld blood evil could be perfectly controlled, he could help Lu Chuanjun reconcile the cultivation technique, then find a way to repair the foundational Dao injuries. Regarding lifespan, as long as Lu Quanzhen's foundational Dao injuries could be resolved, he would have the hope of impacting core formation. As long as he broke through to core formation, lifespan effects, though existent, wouldn't be very significant. 6 days later, Lu Quanzhen's injuries had slightly alleviated, allowing him to move normally, though he still appeared very weak. "Let's go, I will take you to seek an explanation." Lu Chongsheng immediately took Lu Chuanjun to find Meng Xiaochan, indicating he was going out for a while. Lu Quanzhen's pupils contracted sharply upon seeing Meng Xiaochan in front, with a look of shock and doubt towards his father. "This is Meng Xiaochan, an old friend of your father's. I already know about your previous matters. She didn't know your identity at the time, so there were some misunderstandings. But your father being able to know about your situation is thanks to Xiaochan." Lu Chongsheng glanced at his son and said. Lu Chuanjun was in utter surprise. Though called an old friend, the person was gazing tenderly at his father. How could he not know what relationship the two had? For this, he simply didn't know what to say. He could only say that his father's social connections were indeed quite extensive. He even had friends in Jin Kingdom. At this moment, he recalled the previously appearing Heavenly Spider True Master, who seemed to be the master of this Meng Xiaochan. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14-17, Could it be that the Heavenly Spider True Man also has some connection with my father? Lu Chuanjun glanced at his father, his eyes twitching slightly, feeling that this was highly likely. Otherwise, how could this Heavenly Spider True Man appear just in time and even demand me from the old demon Jintian? However, as a son, he naturally couldn't speak on matters concerning his father. Immediately, he clasped his hands towards Meng Xiaochan and said, "Chuanjun greets Senior Meng. Thank you for your assistance. There's no need to be polite." Meng Xiaochan responded with a gentle smile. "Xiaochan, Chuanjun has some troubling issues. I plan to take him out to see if we can resolve them." Lu Chongsheng said to Meng Xiaochan, intending to take Lu Chuanjun to the Yiming ghost sect. "Lu Lang, is there anything I can help with? My master said before that you can reach out to her if you need anything." Meng Xiaochan knew that Lu Quanzhen's situation was quite severe, and it was already remarkable that Lu Chongsheng managed to stabilize it. "It's just a minor issue. If your master asks, just let her know." Lu Chongsheng smiled and chose not to trouble Nangong Meili. He was planning to take Lu Chuanjun to the Yiming ghost sect to demand answers, needing only to disguise themselves as loose cultivators without any scruples. But bringing Nangong Meili along would be inconvenient. "Alright, Lu Lang, be careful." Meng Xiaochan, understanding Lu Chongsheng's capabilities, didn't ask further. After saying that, she lightly pursed her pink lips, her beautiful eyes filled with hopeful reluctance, and said, Lu Lang, once you're done, will you return? I will. Wait for me. Lu Chongqing gently caressed her dreamlike, exquisite cheek with a smile. But as the words left his mouth, he suddenly felt it was inauspicious, like tempting fate, so he changed his words, saying, "They'll still be in the Jin Kingdom. If anything happens, you can crush the transmission jade talisman, and it'll come immediately." Whoosh! After Lu Chongqing and Lu Chuanjun exited the Immortal Spider Marketplace, he immediately channeled his mana, riding a divine rainbow into the sky. Transforming into a rainbow to fly, is that a nascent soul immortal's technique? Even though Lu Chuanjun had already guessed that his father had broken through to the core formation stage, seeing this scene still left him astonished. After all, this was the core formation stage. Whether in Jiang country or Jin Kingdom, it is considered a leading presence, known as a nascent soul immortal. Has my family already reached the status of a core formation noble family? Just as he was wondering, suddenly golden light surged before him, dazzling and brilliant. A torrent of demon chi swept up, soaring skyward, giving a suffocating, mountainous pressure. It's that demon king shimmering with golden light. Lu Chuanjun was immediately startled, recognizing it as the golden light he had seen when his consciousness was hazy earlier. The next moment, a massive peng bird, seemingly forged from solid gold, appeared before him. Its body was huge and robust, every feather flashing with sharp, dazzling light, glittering like jewels. Its sharp beak seemed forged from ancient immortal gold, exuding a metallic, icy brilliance. Its pair of golden eyes, like two brilliant suns, profound and boundless, emanated an overwhelming presence that made one afraid to look directly. Is this Demon King Father's spiritual pet? Lu Chuanjun stared at the fearsome, awe-inspiring golden-winged heavenly peng before him, his heart in turmoil, like waves surging thousands of layers high. This is too astonishing. This golden demon king seemed to have subdued the old demon Jintian in just a few breaths. And yet father could tame such a demon king. But before he could think more, Lu Chongqing carried him onto the golden-winged heavenly peng. Go. Lu Chongqing instructed the golden peng on the direction of the Yiming ghost sect, then enveloped Lu Chuanjun with a yin-yang mysterious divine light. Caw! The golden-winged heavenly peng let out a cry, its wings stretching as a gale howled, clouds swirled, as though the world and all things made way, heading toward the Yiming ghost sect. If you have any questions, just ask. Lu Chongqing glanced at his bewildered son beside him and spoke. Father, where are we planning to go? Lu Chuanjun snapped out of his trance, slightly dazed, and didn't inquire about his father's strength. Of course, to the Yiming ghost sect. Lu Chongqing answered straightforwardly. The Yiming ghost sect. Lu Chuanjun was taken aback, his expression caught between shock and doubt. Since the ghost demon true master sent people to hunt you for so many years, as your father, I must seek an explanation. Moreover, your Dao foundation and mana have been eroded by the blood fiend, causing conflicts with your cultivation technique and mana. Unless you abolish your cultivation and start anew, it can't be fundamentally resolved. This mana is similar to the Yiming ghost sect's netherworld blood evil technique, so I intend to see if the Yiming ghost sect has a solution. Lu Chongqing, clad in a mystic robe, stood tall, exuding an aura of suppressed power, his expression indifferent as he spoke. This is, Lu Chuanjun was bewildered. He hadn't expected his father would go to the Yiming ghost sect to stir up trouble. As one of the three great demon sects in the Jin Kingdom, the Yiming ghost sect's strength is extraordinary, even surpassing the Qingyun sect by a level. Though his father's strength is profound and unfathomable, wanting to go to the Yiming ghost sect looking for trouble might be challenging, right? Father, the Yiming ghost sect openly has 9 nascent soul immortals in charge, not to mention the supreme treasure myriad ghosts blood pool to uphold their foundation. There are even rumors that the supreme elder of the Yiming ghost sect is just half a step away from breaking through to nascent soul, and with the myriad ghosts blood pool in hand, his strength rivals that of a nascent soul true lord. Lu Quanzhen's face turned pale, voicing quietly to subtly express the immense danger. No matter. Lu Chongsheng looked at his son's expression and spoke softly. Since he dared to head to the Yiming ghost sect, he certainly had the confidence. With the 9 treasures Rui Bone, his strength absolutely matched the core formation late stage. Additionally, he had the golden-winged heavenly Peng, a 3rd-rank true spirit bloodline demon king. This battle power, even the Yiming ghost sect had to hold some reservation. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 14:18, Unwilling to fight him to the death. Even if the opponent wanted to fight to the death, Lu Chongsheng was utterly fearless. With the golden-winged heavenly Peng, unless a nascent soul true lord intervened, he could come and go as he pleased. Even if a nascent soul true lord came, Lu Chongsheng felt he could compete in speed. I am a fighter being chased by a fighting emperor, but am not worried in the slightest, because his horse isn't faster than mine. Lu Chongsheng suddenly thought of this phrase. Although it was a joke, it underscored how important it was to have a good mount. Lu Chuanzhen, seeing his father say this, was no longer worried. His blood-colored, narrow eyes gazed in the direction of the Yiming ghost sect, a surge of fierce hatred rising in his heart. Calm yourself, in your current state, avoid impulsiveness and rash killing intent. Lu Chongsheng, seeing his son, frowned slightly and placed his hand on his shoulder, circulating the yin-yang creation scripture to help him manage his magic aura. Most demonic techniques have some side effects. At this moment, the blood fiend was eroding Lu Quanzhen's physical body, soul, and Tao foundation, making him naturally prone to drastic actions and deviation. Yes, father. Lu Chuanzhen took a deep breath, steadied his mental spirit, realizing his emotional state was unstable. However, his personality was somewhat like that, with a need for revenge. If he had enough strength, he would immediately seek out Ghost Demon True Master for revenge. After this, come back with me and properly rest your body. Lu Chongsheng glanced at his son's blood-colored, gray hair and spoke. The Mount Sumeru Tree King had the effect of purifying the mind and suppressing heart demons. Living home long-term would be beneficial for him. It's just thinking that his son would return in this state, his wife Chuzhenjin might not know what to say. Father, sorry to trouble you. Lu Chuanzhen said in a low voice. Encountering some things while outside is quite normal. Lu Chongsheng shook his head. Oh, earlier in the Immortal Spider Marketplace, besides Xiao Chan, you probably met a young girl in a purple dress, do you remember? At this moment, he recalled his daughter Nangong Yaoyao's situation and mentioned it to Lu Chuanzhen. Although it's unlikely they'd see each other again, any minor misunderstanding the siblings had in the past should be resolved early. Otherwise, with time, he might forget. Are you referring to the daughter of Heavenly Spider True Man, Nangong Yaoyao? Lu Chuanzhen had been vaguely speculating due to the prior incident with Meng Xiaochan. Yes, it's Yaoyao, she's actually your sister. She attacked you earlier due to the 6-winged golden silkworm incident. But she didn't know your identity at the time. She's going to the Immortal Lotus sect now and cannot meet you to apologize. Lu Chongsheng said softly. Indeed. Lu Chuanzhen thought inwardly, not knowing what to say. He had speculated that Heavenly Spider True Man and his father might be related, but didn't expect Nangong Yaoyao to be their daughter. Yet his father was a Foundation establishment cultivator back then. How was it possible to have a daughter with a nascent soul immortal? He felt a rush of emotions, but also some relief. When facing Nangong Yaoyao, he hadn't suffered. He almost killed Nangong Yaoyao. If he really had killed his sister at the time, the consequences would have been unimaginable. Father. Subsequently, Lu Chuanzhen looked at his father, wanting to say something but hesitated. What is it? Lu Chongsheng signaled him to speak directly. How many other brothers and sisters do I have out there? You could tell me in advance to avoid similar misunderstandings, Lu Chuanzhen said. Although he didn't have any emotional connections with most siblings and didn't feel much. He didn't want any internal strife. Lu Changsheng? Is this how he appeared in his son's mind? There was clearly only Nangong Yaoyao as an outside daughter. Just this one. Lu Changsheng said, thinking that when they return home, he should introduce the children and siblings to each other more. Otherwise, with so many siblings, they might not recognize each other if they met outside, especially with Lu Chuanzhen being away for over 20 years. There's a chance he doesn't know many of the siblings at home. The Immortal Spider Marketplace was within the Five Poisons cult's region, so it was still a distance to the Yiming Ghost sect. Also, heading to the Yiming Ghost sect would most likely involve a battle, so Lu Changsheng didn't have the golden-winged heavenly peng fly at full speed to conserve its strength. Even reaching the Yiming Ghost sect region, he slightly slowed down to keep the golden-winged heavenly peng in good condition. At this moment, suddenly a surge of spiritual root enhancements activated, accompanied by a system notification tone. Ding! Congratulations to the host for reaching 100 progeny with spiritual roots, you have received one advanced lottery opportunity. Has Zhiyue given birth? Lu Changsheng roughly guessed who had given birth to a child. A month ago, Yu Fei's child was born with ordinary spiritual roots, just 5th grade spiritual root. And this child, Lu Changsheng sensed, should be a 4th grade spiritual root. This left him slightly disappointed. He had hoped after breaking through core formation, he and Xia Zizhu could have another child with superior grade spiritual root. But after 6 attempts, he understood that Xia Zizhu's spirit-nurturing physique worked like this. It could steadily produce offspring with spiritual roots, even guaranteeing a middle-grade spiritual root. But for superior-grade spiritual roots, a lot of luck was still needed. System, lottery. Lu Changsheng thought quietly, hoping to draw something useful to enhance his combat power. If he could draw another 3rd-rank Demon King, he could truly roam unhindered. P.S. The author's note is not visible on QRead, so I'll add it here. Lu Chuanzhen should have received a lottery for breaking through the 9th level of Foundation Establishment, but it was forgotten earlier, so here's a patch. Content added in Chapter 484, Lu Chuanzhen breaks through the 9th level of Foundation Establishment, and the main character receives an advanced lottery, a Great Desolate Dragon Spine. Great Desolate Dragon Spine, grade, 4th rank, description, one of the 9 guardian bones of the Divine Bone sect. This bone is indestructible, can boost physical body strength, absorbs heaven and earth's power to repair the body, and can transform into Great Desolate Dragon armor. At least 3rd rank body refining is required for refinement. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1419, Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the Seed of Law, Son of Heaven Chi observation. Reward has been issued to System Space, the host can view it at any time. A dragon-shaped pattern with pale golden airflow emerged from the big wheel, accompanied by the system prompt tone. Seed of Law. Lu Changsheng raised his eyebrows slightly, his expression content. He was naturally aware of the Seed of Law. Years ago, he even drew a Seed of Law called Sword-Rushing Bullfight, which he gave to his son Lu Qingshan. Unexpectedly, he drew another one now. This is a good thing. Lu Changsheng's mental spirit moved slightly, looking toward the system space. Seed of Law, Son of Heaven Chi observation, rank, 4th rank, description, Son of Heaven Chi observation, can kill with a smile, enhances the cultivation talent of the recipient, naturally born with various combat experience, can see the flaws of supernatural divine ability, mana mechanism flows. Why is it only 4th rank? Lu Changsheng frowned. The previous ordinary lottery's sword-rushing bullfight was a 4th rank Seed of Law. This time, the advanced lottery is only 4th rank as well? It seems that the previous one was sheer luck, this time it's normal level. Lu Changsheng pondered secretly. Early ordinary lotteries did draw several 4th rank rewards. But aside from sword-rushing bullfight, others were of average value. Even though the Seed of Law was ranked 4th, but judging from his son Lu Qingshan's situation, its effects were almost comparable to a top-level spiritual body. Even though it ranked 5th, it would be no exaggeration. Lu Chongsheng didn't look much into it, intending to research more about this Seed of Law later. Shoo! A golden streak flew across the sky, its wings unfolded as it tore the air into a long golden wave, stirring up fierce winds. Even when the golden-winged heavenly peng slowed down, it far surpassed many nascent soul cultivators. Several days later, just as they were approaching Yiming Ghost Sect, Lu Chongsheng suddenly sensed 2 nascent soul cultivators were in combat a dozen miles away. Among them was a wave of mana he faintly found familiar. Immediately scanning with divine sense, he saw 16 miles away, an ordinary-looking tall woman wearing blue-white tight-fitting clothing was wielding a shining magical sword, dueling a garishly made-up, pale-skinned, translucent-skinned glamorous woman wearing a white bone crown. The magical sword in her hand was enveloped in a sharp and ethereal 7-colored sword light. With a casual swipe, countless 7-colored sword chi emerged, crisscrossing and filled with a sharp murderous aura. The glamorous woman wearing the white bone crown wielded a blood-red flame-long silk, like a blood python shadow, coiling around her, struggling to resist the 7-colored sword chi. It was clear that the glamorous woman wearing the white bone crown was not a match for the sword-wielding woman, seemingly delaying time, preventing her from leaving. How is she here? Lu Chongsheng, seeing the sword-wielding woman, raised his eyebrow, somewhat surprised. This tall, plain-looking sword cultivator woman was none other than Xiao Siye's senior sister, Chu Qingyi. Previously, Chu Qingyi broke and stood, dissolved the true elixir, and reconsolidated the golden core, cultivating the 7 luminaries' great freedom sword scripture. Thus, Lu Chongsheng was very familiar with her magic aura, instantly seeing through her disguise and camouflage. But Chu Qingyi should be in closed-door cultivation within the Qingyun sect. Why was she appearing in Jin Kingdom, just right at the Yiming Ghost Sect? Could this be another mysterious hint of fate? Lu Chongsheng touched his chin. Simultaneously, the 2 women in combat sensed the rolling demon chi of the golden-winged heavenly peng, their expressions shocked and suspicious, unsure if it was enemy or ally. This place is not suitable for staying long. Chu Qingyi knew this glamorous woman was delaying time, waiting for reinforcements. Now, with another surge of demon chi appearing, clearly with ill intentions. Instantly, she made a gesture incantation with one hand, a dazzling blue flying sword broke through the air, flowing with variegated runes. Then the flying sword transformed visibly to the naked eye into a giant sword dozens of meters long, filled with a fierce and overbearing, unparalleled sharp mechanism, slashing toward the glamorous woman. The blood-red flame of the black long silk immediately appeared damaged with a creak sound under this enormous sword attack. However, this long silk immediately coiled like a giant python around the giant sword, making it hard to advance even an inch. Next, a giant python phantom with a blood-red glow appeared, opening its huge mouth, spewing out a chilling ghost energy. Several eerie, seemingly corroded by time, rusty chains appeared, extending toward Chu Qingyi, emanating a cold and dark glow. Clang clang clang, Chu Qingyi's eyes were cold, her magical sword fierce and overbearing, sword chi crisscrossing, breaking through chain seals, retrieving the dazzling blue flying sword and escaping into the air. However, at that moment, waves of wind swept in from the sky, countless demonic cloud ghost shadows surged, like 100 ghosts walking at night, 10,000 ghosts howling. A giant ghostly shadow dozens of meters tall howled toward her. Cackle cackle cackle, he he, woo woo woo, dear Taoist friend, since you're here, why hurry to leave? This giant ghostly shadow seemed composed of countless human figures, young and old, male and female, some enchanting and charming, others terrifying and ugly, speaking together, like a soul-reaping magic sound, shrill and piercing, chilling the soul. The glamorous woman saw the ghostly shadow approaching, instantly filled with joy. Continuing to deploy the black silk magical treasures, rushing towards Chu Qingyi to intercept her. Break, Chu Qingyi halted, and from her chi ocean core, the golden core emitted dazzling light, then her magical sword slashed fiercely. Dozens of indistinct, formless sword lights interweaving, demonstrating an unparalleled killing intent. Not good. The glamorous woman hastily blocked. Yet, the dazzling blue flying sword suddenly lunged again, carving a deep bloody scar on her. Ah! The glamorous woman immediately let out a shrill cry, her body flying sideways. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1420, Hee. At this moment, the giant ghostly apparition swept towards Chu Qingyi. A swirling magic cloud of ghost energy seemed to seal off this realm, obscuring the sky and shrouding the sun in darkness, utterly terrifying. Go! Lu Chongsheng saw this and immediately signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to rush over. Although Chu Qingyi was a sword cultivator with a superior grade golden core and formidable combat strength, this ghostly apparition's aura was on par with that of the White Peak Immortal from years past. Faced with two nascent soul cultivators, including that enchanting beauty, Chu Qingyi might not be their match. Moreover, I came here to seek an explanation from the Yiming Ghost sect. If we can suppress these two nascent soul cultivators now, it will be much easier later. Lu Chuanjun, standing by, watched as the golden-winged heavenly peng suddenly flew off in another direction, surprised as he looked towards his father. Just happened to encounter a friend. Lu Chongsheng glanced at him and explained. A friend? Lu Chuanjun was taken aback, his expression a bit odd. Does my father really have such a wide circle of friends? Can he bump into a friend even at the Yiming Ghost sect? It makes one wonder whether this friend is male or female. A moment later, he saw a heavy shroud enveloping the sky ahead. Even from a distance, there was a feeling of suffocating oppression. Realizing that there's a nascent soul cultivator engaged in combat here. Boom, 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 he then saw strands of seven-colored radiance erupting from the dark magic clouds, like beams tearing the pitch-black sky apart. Ah, 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 shrill, piercing cries of agony echoed, both male and female, old and young, like a deathly Brahma sound, with an invisible ghostly hand gripping one's throat, infusing the heart with horror and despair. The next moment, a figure burst forth from the swirling magic clouds into the sky. Yet, on top of the swirling magic clouds, gruesome, horrifying skulls formed, biting towards the figure. Even for someone accustomed to slaughter, Lu Chuanjun felt a chill seeing this scene. Not because the scene was too horrifying, but the supernatural abilities and techniques of a nascent soul cultivator, every move capable of interfering and impacting others' mental spirits. Facing these skulls, Chu Qingyi didn't linger in battle. The seven-colored sword light flowed around her, exuding a terrifying, sharp chi mechanism, seemingly set to shred everything to pieces. However, just as several skulls were shattered by Chu Qingyi, the magic cloud and ghost energy formed figures, ghostly apparitions, or even fierce beasts, continuing their assault. Golden Peng. Lu Chongsheng stood tall and poised on the golden-winged heavenly peng, signaling it to directly attack. Whoosh! The golden-winged heavenly peng streaked like a golden ribbon, charging straight into the swirling magic clouds. The enchanting beauty sensed a dangerous aura from the golden-winged heavenly peng, her expression turned towards horror as she quickly evaded. Yet at this moment, suddenly, she felt as if her soul was violently struck, her face went pale, clutching her forehead in pain. Pfft! The next moment, she was tightly grasped by the golden-winged heavenly peng's talons, coughing up blood, unable to struggle. This, Lu Chuanjun, witnessing this scene, was astonished. Even knowing his father's extraordinary prowess and the golden peng bird's immense combat strength, having previously subdued the tremble heaven demon in an instant, seeing the golden-winged heavenly peng capturing a nascent soul immortal so effortlessly left him in awe. Because it was truly astounding. After all, this was a nascent soul immortal. A nascent soul immortal, just like a tiny chick, completely helpless in its grasp. Not only him but even Chu Qingyi from afar was stunned by this scene. Though confident she could defeat the enchanting beauty in a one-on-one confrontation, she could never achieve such an easy suppression. Glancing at the golden-winged heavenly Peng and the two figures, she didn't hesitate at all, preparing to escape through the air. Qingyi. However, at this moment, a gentle voice sounded in her mind. Huh! Chu Qingyi was suddenly startled upon hearing this familiar gentle voice. Then she looked at Lu Chongsheng on the golden-winged heavenly Peng with a face full of disbelief. If it weren't for her sword heart clarity, confirming that this was the other party transmitting a message via divine sense, she would even suspect it was some demon path method, stirring up interference with her mental spirit. Otherwise, how could it be such a coincidence? She came to the Jin Kingdom and encountered him. Who are you? Why do you oppose my Yiming ghost sect? At this moment, amid the swirling ghost fog, a raspy voice that was unclear whether male or female sounded, like sandpaper grinding metal, extremely piercing. Lu Chongsheng did not speak, signaling the golden-winged heavenly Peng to swiftly finish the battle. Now with the golden-winged heavenly Peng, he himself was too lazy to make a move. Then he transmitted a message to Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, I'll handle the situation first, we can catch up later. Be careful, this person is from the Yiming ghost sect. Chu Qingyi immediately wanted to speak up to warn, indicating that this person's strength was not ordinary. But the golden-winged heavenly Peng had already made a move. 100,000 8,000 feathers. Surging demon chi rushed forth, numerous golden runes flowed. At this moment, the killing intent of this world was astonishing, countless golden divine feathers appeared. Each feather was like an unparalleled divine sword, shining with radiant light, spewing forth intensely fierce killing intent, sharp, intimidating, leaving people trembled at the sight. Whoosh whoosh whoosh, whiz whiz whiz, the golden-winged heavenly Peng spread its wings in mid-air, stirring up fierce gales, countless golden feathers shot out, bursting forth with dazzling divine light. Thud thud thud, in an instant, the ghost fog was pierced by the golden divine feathers into tatters, scattered all over, echoing the shrieking and wailing of ghosts and wolves between heaven and earth. This ghost shadow true immortal cultivates the myriad ghosts technique, can transform into myriad ghosts, all this ghost fog are his incarnations. Chu Qingyi saw the shattering ghost fog reuniting, immediately reminded Lu Chongsheng. When fighting this ghost shadow true immortal, if one cannot find his true body, it is very easy to be drained of mana. How dare you? Coming to my Yiming ghost sect territory with impudence, you will pay. Ghost shadow true immortal roared, voice raspy and piercing. Although he could transform into myriad ghosts, these ghost shadows all required his nurturing and gathering. Now under the 100,000 8,000 feathers of the golden-winged heavenly Peng, more than half were directly annihilated, causing his battle power to decrease significantly. However, despite his harsh words, he immediately rolled up the ghost fog and fled towards the direction of the Yiming ghost sect. Transform into myriad ghosts? Lu Chongsheng heard this and slightly raised his brows. Then his gaze became like a torch, bursting with golden light, scrutinizing the ghost fog ahead, seeing countless ghost shadows flickering within. After several breaths, he saw a ghost shadow inside distinct from the others, relatively more solid, and immediately signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng. The golden-winged heavenly Peng's pupils blazed like two scorching suns, also perceiving some of the situation. Instantly, a dense barrage of golden divine feathers rushed towards ghost shadow true immortal, forming a daunting golden ocean infused with unparalleled killing intent, leaving people trembling at the sight. Thud thud thud, indeed, as the ghost fog was forced away, besides the piercing howling, blood also splattered out. Lu Chongsheng immediately saw a seemingly indistinct ghost shadow attempting to escape. Trying to leave? Yin Yang Qi grasp. Lu Chongsheng's expression remained calm, his eyes blazing, Qi ocean core, Yin Yang great Tao golden core trembled once, rising with boundless radiance. A mysterious Yin Yang Qi shot up from Lu Chongsheng's head, straight into the clouds, instantly forming 100 zhang-sized hand of flowing Yin Yang, grasping the escaping ghost shadow. This, Lu Chuanjun and Chu Qingyi saw this scene, both were full of shock, speechless. Especially Chu Qingyi. She had investigated the Yiming ghost sect thoroughly during this time, knowing the ghost shadow true immortal had a 6th level core formation cultivation level, and cultivated the myriad ghosts technique. Even late-stage core formation cultivators found it difficult to kill him. But now, this ghost shadow true immortal was easily subdued by Lu Changsheng. The entire process was so fast that she barely had time to react. Chu Qingyi looked at Lu Changsheng's golden-winged heavenly peng, realizing it was no ordinary demon king, already reaching 3rd rank late stage. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1421, Who are you? Doing this, my Yiming ghost sect will never let you go, no matter where you flee, it will be a dead end. Ghost Shadow True Man was brimming with rolling demonic chi, struggling against Lu Changsheng's yin-yang chi grasp, issuing a threat with his voice, but the tone was clearly fierce outwardly but weak inwardly. There's no need for your Yiming ghost sect to trouble me, they'll be coming to seek an explanation right now. Lu Changsheng snorted coldly. The 9 treasures Rui bone surged on his chest, endless runes interwoven, emitting dazzling divine light. Sealing divine light, like an orderly chain, shot towards Ghost Shadow True Man, wrapping and binding him. Boom boom boom. Ghost Shadow True Man, already quite struggling under the yin-yang chi grasp. Now facing the sealing divine light, he was immediately overwhelmed, spitting blood, his entire mana suppressed and imprisoned, falling into the other golden claw of the golden-winged heavenly peng. Lu Daoist, how come you are here? At this moment, Chu Qingyi looked at Lu Changsheng, her expression shocked and uncertain, speaking in disbelief. If Lu Changsheng hadn't transmitted his divine sense to her, and if she wasn't very familiar with Lu Changsheng's mana, she would have been hesitant to confirm it was Lu Changsheng. Because it was too astonishing. Not just the power, but also this golden-winged heavenly peng. During the brief confrontation, she saw that this golden peng bird's power was extraordinary. A top-level demon king at the 3rd rank late stage. Yet such a demon king was used as a mount by the opponent. Even in Qingyun sect, and even spirit-taming sect, such spiritual beasts are top-level beings, guardian sect spirit beasts. My son was attacked by Ghost Demon True Man, so I came to Yiming Ghost Sect for an explanation, and to see if I can solve his physical problem. Lu Changsheng said in a deep voice. Chu Qingyi glanced at Lu Chuanjun, who had red eyes and a pale face, and immediately saw his essence blood was depleted, like suffering from deviation. Junior Lu Chuanjun, greets the senior. Lu Chuanjun quickly cupped his hands in salute. Though he did not know the other party. But since she was a friend of his father, and also a nascent soul immortal, he naturally had to be respectful. Moreover, since this nascent soul immortal was a woman, it made him inexplicably suspicious of the unusual relationship between her and his father. I have a green blood essence pill here, it has the effects of regenerating and filling voids, cleansing the physical body, and greatly replenishing essence. It will be of some help to you. Chu Qingyi nodded slightly, taking out a delicate porcelain bottle from the storage ring and handing it to Lu Chuanjun. This pill was extremely precious, a 3rd-rank spirit pill, which she herself kept in case of emergency, prepared as a healing pill. Thank you, senior. Lu Chuanjun glanced at his father and then respectfully took it. Qingyi, how come you're here? Lu Changsheng looked at Chu Qingyi in front of him, asking aloud. Upon hearing this, Chu Qingyi's heart trembled sharply, and she whispered, I just happened to have a mission. Though she spoke of a mission, in reality, it was to avoid Lu Changsheng, going outdoors for training and relaxation, so she felt somewhat guilty. Mission? Lu Changsheng raised his eyebrows, scrutinizing Chu Qingyi in front of him, saying, You're not deliberately avoiding me, are you? He knew roughly about the system of Qingyun sect, such sections. After Chu Qingyi had just returned from the Tianyuan's secret realm, unless it was a matter of urgency, they wouldn't assign missions to her. Moreover, at that time Yun Wanshang told him Chu Qingyi was in closed-door cultivation. But now, while in seclusion, she had come to Jin Kingdom. There was clearly an issue. Chu Qingyi wanted to say something but then pursed her lips and fell silent. Forget it, since there's nothing wrong, you should leave quickly. Seeing her manner, Lu Chongqing immediately knew what was going on, shook his head, and chose not to ask more. Were it normal times, he would still have leisure to tease Chu Qingyi, but now there was important business. Having suppressed 2 nascent soul immortals from Yiming Ghost Sect, he assumed Yiming Ghost Sect already had someone on their way. Lu Chuanjun beside him observed, focusing intently inwardly, as if he hadn't heard or seen anything. He had previously guessed about his father's relationship with others. Now hearing the conversation between the two, he couldn't help but inwardly mumble, his father truly had confidants everywhere. Apart from the heavenly spider true man of 5 poisons cult, there was also a deep connection with such a nascent soul immortal. Even in the cultivation world of Jin Kingdom, how many unknown relationships and connections does his father possibly have in Jiang country? Lu Daoist, are you going to trouble Yiming Ghost Sect? Chu Qingyi gently pursed her lips, speaking up. Yes. Lu Chongqing nodded. Yiming Ghost Sect's power is formidable, with a cultivator at the peak of core formation, and its mountain protection array is a 4th-tier forbidden array, Chu Qingyi immediately said. Though Lu Chongqing and the golden-winged heavenly Peng displayed phenomenal combat strength, this power is still not enough to provoke Yiming Ghost Sect. Having such a 1,000-year legacy sect, aside from the apparent combat power, it has numerous ways that prevent preparedness. And coming to demand an explanation, such a matter is intolerable for any faction, a blatant slap in the face that easily escalates the situation. Rest assured, I know what I'm doing. Lu Chongqing smiled slightly. Chu Qingyi saw Lu Chongqing was unlikely to change his mind easily, but she could not watch him take risks. Silently sighed, she said softly, if that's the case, I'll go with you, so I can assist you a bit when the time comes. All right. Lu Chongqing looked into Chu Qingyi's clear and steadfast eyes, and then smiled lightly. Then, he naturally reached out to Chu Qingyi, leading her onto the golden-winged heavenly Peng. This surprised Chu Qingyi once again. Such demon kings are exceedingly proud. Generally, apart from their masters, they rarely serve as mounts for others and typically resist. But this golden Peng bird showed no sign of resistance, even voluntarily retracting its sharp aura. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1422, This is truly astonishing. It shows that this golden Peng bird has completely submitted to Lu Chongqing. Let's go. Lu Chongqing gestured towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Whoosh, the golden-winged heavenly Peng immediately flew towards the Yiming Ghost Sect. However, before they reached the Yiming Ghost Sect, they sensed a blood-colored light flowing in the sky, surging mightily. Who's the reckless rogue daring to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost Sect? Before the person arrived, the voice came first. From miles away, a chillingly cold voice resounded. In an instant, the sky's bloody glow became denser, torrents of Yin wind swept through, and a foul stench of blood filled the air. Lu Changsheng's eyes were like torches, shining brilliantly with golden light as he saw countless blood-colored bats within the bloody light, stretching endlessly, terrifying to behold. This person is the great elder of the Yiming Ghost Sect, and his cultivation technique is the Netherworld Myriad Ghost Art. But he had a fortuitous encounter earlier in life, contracting an ancient blood bat, and transformed the Netherworld Myriad Ghost Art into the Netherworld Blood Bat Sutra, wielding unfathomable power, with a cultivation level at the core formation 8th layer. Chu Qingyi, seeing the sky filled with blood bats, immediately identified the newcomer, her eyes filled with dread. Besides the Supreme Elder, who is preparing to break through to the nascent soul stage, the Yiming Ghost sect has 2 late-stage core formation cultivators. One of them is this Ghost Bat True Master. Due to his cultivation method and possession of an ancient blood bat, his power is indeed terrifying. Great Elder. The Ghost Shadow True Master and the Enchanting Beauty were full of joy upon seeing the blood shadows in the sky. Besides the Supreme Elder, who is in long-term seclusion, this Ghost Bat True Master is the foremost figure in the Yiming Ghost sect. Not only does he have the strength of the core formation 8th layer, but he also possesses a late-stage 3rd rank blood bat. Even though Lu Changsheng's strength is astonishing, instantly suppressing them, he couldn't possibly be a match for their great elder. Ugh ugh ugh, Lu Chuanzhen inhaled the thick bloody stench, and even though he was protected by the yin-yang mysterious divine light, his face was full of pain as the blood fiend qi within him boiled. Seeing this, Lu Changsheng frowned, realizing it was the opponent's cultivation technique causing the effect. He immediately raised his hand lightly, and the Tianyuan lotus appeared, enveloping Lu Chuanzhen within. During the earlier battle, he allowed his son to gain some experience. But now, this battle would be hard for him to protect the other. Moreover, this Ghost Bat True Master must have cultivated techniques involving blood fiend aspects, which indirectly affected Lu Chuanzhen. Qingyi, be careful. The dormant qi and blood within Lu Changsheng began to revive, and he said sternly to Chu Qingyi. Then he signaled the golden-winged heavenly Peng to directly attack. This person is the great elder of the Yiming Ghost sect, the first under the Supreme Elder. If I can suppress him, it will severely damage the Yiming Ghost sect's primordial energy. At that time, I could gain a great deal from the Yiming Ghost sect through this person, resolving Lu Quanzhen's physical issues, and even securing resources for my wives and children's future core formation. How bold! Just because you rely on a spiritual beast, do you think you're invincible in the world? The Ghost Bat True Master saw Lu Changsheng riding the golden-winged heavenly Peng coming directly at him and coldly shouted. He naturally saw that the golden-winged heavenly Peng was unusual. Even his blood bat showed some timidity in the face of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. One must know, his blood bat is by no means simple. Due to a bloodline atavism, it possesses some true spirit bloodline. Because of this, he relied on the blood bat to grow to such a degree. But now, the golden-winged heavenly Peng instills a sense of dread in his blood bat. Nevertheless, besides the dread, the blood bat also had a craving. It longed to devour the essence blood of the golden-winged heavenly Peng. If it could devour the golden-winged heavenly Peng, it might have a chance to advance to the 4th rank within 100 years. Lu Changsheng didn't respond, and a resonance echoed from his qi ocean core, as the formless treasure will appeared, like a blazing sun spinning in his mind, making him look magnificent. The 2 people held by the golden-winged heavenly Peng were instantly suppressed into the formless domain. This battle demands full effort, and the golden-winged heavenly Peng's combat power must not be compromised. You seek death. Seeing this scene, the Ghost Bat True Master thought Lu Changsheng was provoking him and shouted loudly. His voice was chilling, filled with disruptive qi mechanism, interfering with others' mental spirits. At the same time, endless blood bats swept towards Lu Changsheng. 108,000 feathers. The golden-winged heavenly Peng, radiant all over, released a sound that shattered metal and stone, shaking the skies, making a killing intent pervasive on all sides. Golden divine feathers appeared like swords, emitting a fierce light, slashing towards the blood bats. Puff, 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 many blood bats were pierced by the golden divine feathers, shattering to dust. But those slain blood bats immediately transformed into a bloody mist, merging into other bats, making those bats' aura stronger. Netherworld Blood Ghost Art. The Ghost Bat True Master's voice was cold as he clenched his palm, sending a bloody ghost image hurtling towards Lu Changsheng. The giant blood bat beneath him howled towards the sky at this moment, emitting a rapid, close-packed, fierce, sharp, chaotic series of notes that chilled the heart. 9 treasures: Rui Bone, Vitality, Energy, Spirit, Lu Changsheng's third-rank physique fully resurrected, the runes on the 9 treasures Rui bone on his chest surged wildly, making his physical body, mana, and divine sense roar like a tsunami. Core formation 4th layer. Core formation 5th layer. Core formation 6th layer. Besides his cultivation and magical power, Lu Changsheng's physical strength also improved crazily, almost advancing by a whole level, comparable to the 3rd rank late stage. As for his divine sense, even Lu Changsheng himself didn't know to what extent it had improved. Because after awakening the Tai divine soul, his divine sense was already not weaker than the core formation peak. Now with the enhancement of the 9 treasures Rui bone, the sonic attacks from the blood bat did not significantly affect him. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingjia's face turned pale as if her entire Bodis blood was beyond her control, and a sharp blade seemed to be slicing through her sea of consciousness. She quickly circulated her cultivation technique to suppress this influence. Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. Lu Changsheng's body, with its boiling and roaring blood, shone with treasure light and ignited a fierce and domineering purple-red flame, ready to rely on the 3rd rank body refining to quickly end the battle. The vigorous Chi-blood magical power and the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame surged skyward, forming a fiery beacon of smoke, stirring the weather, and the scorching and violent flames illuminated the skies, burning countless blood bats into rolling bloody mist. Some of the bloody mist did not even have time to merge into other blood bats and was directly evaporated by the Thunder Gang Dragon Flame. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame is extremely young and unyielding, exceedingly violent, and has a restraining effect on such demon path methods. Lu Changsheng had previously forgotten this point. The Thunder Gang Dragon Flame on his body surged even more violently, as if a flood dragon coiled around his fist and suddenly blasted forward. Boom! The bloody ghost shadow before him directly shattered, turning into rolling bloody ghost fog. The pupils of the ghost bat true master on the blood bat shrank, and his heart trembled, as he sensed a strong aura of danger from Lu Changsheng. His initial boldness to act against Lu Changsheng was because he saw Lu Changsheng's cultivation was only at the initial stage of core formation. The plan was to settle Lu Changsheng first, and then with the blood bat, subdue the golden-winged heavenly peng. Yet now, Lu Changsheng's aura climbed steadily, burning with a blazing, violent flame that gave him a strong sense of danger. Immediately, the ghost bat sent a message to the sect master Yinming Ghost King, requesting reinforcements. Today's battle concerned not only the dignity of the Yiming Ghost sect but the safety of 2 nascent soul immortals and his own future opportunities. If the blood bat could advance to the 4th rank, he too might hope to break through to the nascent soul stage in the future. Netherworld Blood Pool. Not daring to underestimate his opponent, the ghost bat true master let out a long howl, summoning a blood pool emitting a ghostly light, with viscous scarlet liquid flowing inside. This was his life-bound magic treasure, the Netherworld Blood Pool. It was crafted based on the Yinming Ghost Sect's supreme treasure, the Myriad Ghosts Blood Pool, with uncommon effects. Instantly, countless blood shadows emerged from the Netherworld Blood Pool, forming a mysterious and strange formation with the myriad blood bats in the sky, emitting waves of sharp and ear-piercing terror sound waves. Lu Changsheng's divine sense was incredibly stable, utterly unaffected by these sound waves. In contrast, not far away, Chu Qingyi was slightly dazed, interfered again by this wave of sound. Chu Qingyi watched the distant fierce battle, slightly biting her lips, her clear and beautiful eyes filled with an indescribably complex emotion. She had initially thought of coming to lend a hand. But now with such a battle, she found it difficult to intervene. If she entered the battlefield recklessly, Lu Changsheng might even have to divide his attention to save her. Yet as she watched Lu Changsheng, like both god and demon, his whole body burning with purple-red flames, she was suddenly lost in thought. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1423, Great Five Elements Divine Fist. Lu Changsheng's dragon roar origin burst open, causing strands of golden light to emerge from the Thunder Gang dragon flame. Then he deployed the divine skill punch from the Five Elements Union Sutra, breaking through layers of blood light, charging towards the Ghost Bat True Master. No wonder this person dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect. The Ghost Bat True Master's eye twitched slightly, feeling uneasy. However, he noticed that Lu Changsheng used some technique to elevate his strength to this level. So as long as he could delay engaging Lu Changsheng in a prolonged battle, the opponent would find it difficult to maintain. Moreover, since this was the Yiming Ghost sect's headquarters, once reinforcements arrived, no matter how many tricks Lu Changsheng had, he would have no choice but to surrender. Boom! The Ghost Bat True Master stepped forward, standing amidst the netherworld blood pool, stirred up a massive wave of blood, forming cascading waterfalls of blood. Boom boom boom, Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly Peng directly broke through layers of blood waterfalls, reaching the Ghost Bat True Master. But in an instant, blood surged behind the Ghost Bat True Master, forming massive bat wings glowing with dark blood light, stirring the waves of blood, and then he vanished into a shadow. Squeak squeak squeak. Meanwhile, the ancient blood bat beneath him screeched sharply, merging with the blood light of heaven and earth, forming a mysterious force, charging towards Lu Changsheng. Boom boom boom, within Lu Changsheng's body, the dragon roar origin surged, his pores flowed with dense dragon roar energy, and the Thunder Gang dragon flame raged fiercely, like a flaming azure dragon atop his head, tearing through heaven and earth, breaking the blood light. The fiery purple-red flames and the blood light filled the heavens and earth, pervading a terrifying aura, causing Chu Qingyi to feel incredibly shocked. She thought to herself, is Lu Changsheng's battle power possibly not inferior to her master? Cry! The golden-winged heavenly Peng cried out, its 180,000 feathers rose like a golden sea, piercing through the blood light, causing the ancient blood bat to screech and suddenly fly into the sky to evade. But Lu Changsheng realized that he and the golden-winged heavenly Peng were unable to inflict any harm on the Ghost Bat True Master despite destroying the blood bats. The opponent's blood bats were different from the ghost shadows and demonic chi of the Ghost Shadow True Man, seemingly endless, continuously birthed from the Ghost Bat True Master's netherworld blood pool. Indeed, being able to break through the late stage of core formation is no simple matter. With my current strength, suppressing the Ghost Bat True Master might be difficult. Moreover, he noticed that I relied on external forces to boost my strength, so he avoided direct confrontation and aimed to buy time, waiting for an opportunity. Lu Changsheng pondered the intentions of the Ghost Bat True Master. And through brief exchanges, he also noticed that the Ghost Bat True Master specialized in prolonged battles. Since that's the case, let's see now how my full power fares in battle. Lu Changsheng's eyes shone brilliantly, releasing two beams of golden divine light. Within his Qi Ocean core, the Yin-Yang Great Tao Golden Core suddenly resonated, emitting immense radiant light, and the mana of the sixth layer of core formation roared like a true dragon. Yin-Yang Great Mingling Millstone. Lu Changsheng had never deployed this divine skill before. Now, with elevated cultivation, it was the perfect chance. He also wanted to see how his full power compared. Against a nascent soul cultivator like the Ghost Bat True Master, what was the gap? The yin-yang energies flowed, emanating a profound great Tao Qi mechanism, forming two yin-yang fish. One was extremely masculine and rigid, the other extremely soft and gentle, constantly entwining. Boom boom boom, as the yin-yang interacted, the world erupted, the void shattered, all of nature's spiritual energy, essence energy, and demonic chi were swept up, forming a massive grinding mill resembling a black hole funnel, rotating relentlessly, seeming to grind all things into oblivion. Boom boom boom, the blood light, blood bats, and blood shadows were immediately ground to dust by this millstone, transforming into strands of yin-yang chi, causing the millstone to seemingly grow larger, its aura terrifying. Beside him, the golden-winged heavenly Peng witnessed its owner's power, naturally unwilling to lag behind, its entire body shining brightly, charging to attack the Ghost Bat True Master. Heavenly Peng Dragon Fighting Technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng was completely radiant, dazzling like a golden rainbow. A true dragon phantom emerged atop its head, tearing through the sealed heavens, charging towards the ghost bat true master. The heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was a top-tier innate divine skill, only a few golden-winged heavenly pengs could awaken it. Once this divine skill was unleashed, the golden divine light was like a vast ocean, tearing through limitless blood light. Not good. Seeing this, the ghost bat true master's face changed involuntarily, only now realizing that he had underestimated not only Lu Changsheng's power but also the golden-winged heavenly peng's strength. Splat! The golden true dragon coiled around the golden-winged heavenly peng's body, suddenly tearing the ghost bat true master's physical form apart. But in the blink of an eye, the ghost bat true master transformed into countless blood bats, appearing dozens of meters away, evading the strike, yet still felt an intense force causing damage to his body. The golden-winged heavenly peng's eyes were cold and ruthless, its killing intent soared. Besides the true dragon phantom atop its head, a mountainous peng phantom appeared, continuing its assault on the ghost bat true master, the endless terrifying aura making the weather shift, causing heaven and earth to lose color. When the heavenly peng dragon fighting technique was evolved to the extreme, it could form the Heavenly Peng Battles Dragon Diagram. This diagram was not only a top-tier divine skill for slaughter but also could amplify its battle power. Boom boom boom, the current battle power of the golden-winged heavenly peng surpassed Lu Changsheng, who relied on the 9 treasures Rui Bone, its golden claws winding around a series of true dragons, releasing countless golden rays with every gesture, tearing heaven and earth, aiming to slay all life. Splat! The boundless blood light and waterfalls formed by the ghost bat true master's netherworld blood pool were effortlessly pierced and torn by the golden-winged heavenly peng, forcing it into a frantic retreat. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1424, Boom Boom Boom. However, the golden-winged heavenly peng attacked the ghost bat true master like golden lightning. Each swing of its giant claws seemed to shatter the heavenly dome, exuding an unparalleled aura. The most astonishing and terrifying thing was that the aura of the golden-winged heavenly peng continued to rise, becoming more intense with each battle. So fierce! Even Lu Changsheng was surprised to witness this scene. He knew the golden-winged heavenly peng was formidable, a top-level existence in core formation. But never did he expect it to be so fierce, its divine skills outright suppressing the late-stage core formation ghost bat true master. One must know that this ghost bat true master, as the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, second only to the supreme elder, had absolutely unquestionable strength. Kill! Lu Changsheng looked at the ancient blood bat blocking his path, operating his yin-yang great mingling millstone. This millstone, resembling a black hole, with each rotation seemed to grind heaven and earth into powder, emanating an unstoppable power. Yet, this ancient blood bat was extraordinary as well, a top-tier existence among the third-rank late-stage demon kings, its blood wings flapping, unleashing a terrifying blood rain. This blood rain seemed to corrode and decay everything, accompanied by sharp, piercing noises. Had Lu Changsheng not awakened the Tai divine soul, with his divine sense surpassing the core formation peak, he would have been disturbed and affected, his consciousness disrupted. I can only kill this ghost bat true master first. Lu Changsheng realized that this ancient blood bat was extremely troublesome. Although his yin-yang great mingling millstone could annihilate everything, immune to countless methods, suppressing this ancient blood bat in a short time was quite challenging. 6 Desires Heart Demon Technique, 6 Senses Locking Heart. Lu Changsheng's eyes shone brightly, shooting out 2 beams of golden divine light, targeting the ghost bat true master being pursued by the golden-winged heavenly peng. In the sea of consciousness at his brow, the Tai divine soul, like a golden little figure, seemed to walk out, forming an invisible illusionary shadow to attack the ghost bat true master. Buzz, the ghost bat true master, who was continuously retreating, suddenly felt an intangible aura roaring in, his consciousness plunging momentarily into darkness, as if to descend into an illusion realm. However, his soul was not ordinary, and with a magical treasure suppressing his sea of consciousness, he instantly awakened from the blurry and chaotic images. Yet upon awakening, what greeted his eyes was a golden claw, entwined with a true dragon, glinting with a sharp, cold sheen. Pucci. The claws tore through the skies and earth, severing mountains and rivers, and the ghost bat true master's body was torn into two by the golden-winged heavenly pang. However, in that instant, the ghost bat true master's body exploded violently, turning into rolling netherworld blood mist and scattered swiftly with a swish sound. Buzz, the next moment, the ghost bat true master reappeared several dozen feet away, his face pale. He must have used some secret magical ability just now to avoid being thoroughly suppressed by the golden-winged heavenly pang, bearing even greater damage. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly pang's eyes shone sharply, like blazing suns gazing at the ghost bat true master, letting out a long cry, stirring the mountains and rivers in all directions as it continued to attack him. At this moment, the golden-winged heavenly pang fully unleashed the formidable ferocity of a true spirit-level demon king bloodline. The heavenly pang battle's dragon diagram overhead was even more intimidating, as if it would truly descend into the world, intimidating others' mental spirits. The ancient blood bat fighting with Lu Changsheng seemed affected by the aura of the golden-winged heavenly pang, its fighting power and aura appearing somewhat diminished. Go, go, go. Where would the ghost bat true master dare to fight the golden-winged heavenly pang any further? If the fight continued, whether he could outlast Lu Changsheng was unknown to him. But he knew, if he dragged on, he would meet his end here today. Too fierce, this golden pang bird was simply too fierce. No wonder his ancient blood bat held a sense of fear towards this pang bird. Want to escape? Lu Changsheng saw the ghost bat true master intended to flee, and once again executed the Six Desires Heart Demon technique, propelling the yin-yang great mingling millstone to suppress the ghost bat true master. Squeak, 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 the ancient blood bat, seeing this, spread its wings, forming countless gusts of bloody rain attacking Lu Changsheng. However, Lu Changsheng's physical body was like a dragon, burning fiercely with flames, and with the yin-yang great mingling mill suspended overhead, he was immune to countless methods, directly ignoring the blood bat's attacks. Such terrifying divine sense attack, who is this person exactly, why have I never heard of such a figure? The ghost bat true master, now on guard, was not caught this time, his eyes filled with dread as he looked at Lu Changsheng, his heart filled with shock. As the great elder of the Yiming ghost sect, a late-stage core formation great cultivator, he not only had knowledge of the Jin Kingdom's nascent soul immortals. He also roughly knew the famous nascent soul immortals of Jiang country, Yu country, Yuan country, Liang country, and the cultivation world. But he had no memory of a figure like Lu Changsheng. A person of this caliber absolutely couldn't be unknown. Pucci. In that fleeting moment, the golden-winged heavenly pang attacked again, reaching the ghost bat true master, its golden claws stretching out, imprisoning the void of heaven and earth. Boom! The ghost bat true master directly unleashed his netherworld blood pool, a massive amount of blood water and blood-colored bats appeared, sweeping across hundreds of feet. But the golden-winged heavenly pang now truly embodied the power to break through all methods with brute force. Its claws tore through the heavens and the earth, any means seemed futile in front of it, and the ghost bat true master could only flee in disarray. 9 treasures Rui Bone, speed. Practicing ghost path and blood path cultivation techniques, the ghost bat true master excelled in fleeing, and Lu Changsheng, wanting to pursue, must now activate his divine skills for empowerment. Squeak, 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 the ancient blood bat roared furiously, attempting to disrupt and influence Lu Changsheng, but was extremely wary of his yin-yang great mingling millstone, not daring to get too close. After all, if it intercepted at the cost of injury, and by the time Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly pang gave up on the ghost bat true master, turning to encircle and kill it, the danger would be high. At this moment, the ancient blood bat suddenly transformed into a beam of blood light, turning to attack Chu Qingyi. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1425. After reaching the level of a third-rank demon king, they already possess spiritual intelligence and notice that Chu Qingyi's battle strength is relatively inferior. They can interfere with Lu Chongsheng through Chu Qingyi. Qingyi, be careful. Although Lu Chongsheng does not fear this ancient blood bat, he is well aware of its formidable power. The sonic soul attack is difficult for ordinary nascent soul cultivators to withstand. Even if Chu Qingyi possesses sword heart clarity and a superior grade gold core, she would still be affected and disturbed. Boom, boom, boom. Lu Chongsheng immediately exerted his full strength to suppress the ancient blood bat with the yin-yang mixed hole great mill, as if trying to draw it into a black hole funnel. However, the ancient blood bat roared, and endless blood light spread. Its massive body turned into countless tiny blood bats, appearing instantly 100 feet away, making it difficult for Lu Chongsheng's divine skill to suppress it. Chu Qingyi bit her lip, her face cold and determined. Originally, she thought of coming here to assist Lu Chongsheng in some way. Unexpectedly, now not only did she fail to help, she seemed to become a burden. Otherwise, Lu Chongsheng and the golden peng bird could have completely suppressed Ghost Bat True Master. Her expression resolute, she steadied her mental spirit, and with a swift motion, her azure flying sword shot forth like a long rainbow, swirling with fierce and domineering chi, slashing toward the ancient blood bat. Splat! However, facing Chu Qingyi's sword, the ancient blood bat showed no fear, neither dodging nor evading, letting it strike its body. Only to see the terrifying bat body under the magical sword instantly, akin to flowing blood, straight through. What a strange technique! Chu Qingyi realized that she had struck the ancient blood bat, but it dissipated the power using its innate divine ability. Boom! Lu Chongsheng, with a black hole funnel above his head, surrounded by a purple-red fiery dragon, appeared godlike before Chu Qingyi, then blasted out a powerful punch, penetrating mountains and rivers. But the ancient blood bat, like Ghost Bat True Master, avoided direct confrontation with Lu Chongsheng, immediately evading, buying time, waiting for him to exhaust his strength. Lu Daoist, please take me into the Tianyuan Lotus. Chu Qingyi, looking at Lu Chongsheng's majestic figure, said with pursed lips. Seeing the situation at hand, she knew she could hardly assist Lu Chongsheng and did not want to be a burden. All right. Lu Chongsheng nodded, without hesitation, he raised his hand, and the Tianyuan Lotus appeared, taking in Chu Qingyi. Then, with the resplendent divine light from the 9 treasures Rui Bone shining on his chest, he ignored the ancient blood bat and charged directly toward Ghost Bat True Master. He could not sustain this state for long, a quick resolution was necessary. Damn it! The disoriented Ghost Bat True Master suddenly felt an imposing and inexplicable chi mechanism enveloping him. Looking back, he immediately saw a massive black hole funnel, dozens of feet wide, slowly rotating, breaking through the void of heaven and earth, coming to kill him. Gah! He made a snap decision, his whole bodice blood boiling, boosting the blood-burning escape technique another level, turning into a barely catchable scarlet light and disappearing. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng screeched, the mountainous great peng phantom overhead seemed one with it, rushing with wind and thunder, golden divine feathers flying, and its sharp claws tearing through the void, slashing at Ghost Bat True Master, further paling his already white face with blood spilling from his mouth. Watching the relentless clash of golden and scarlet lights, Lu Chongsheng felt a bit awkward. Both the man and the peng bird were so swift he couldn't quite keep up. Although he could rely on the 9 treasures Rui Bone to enhance. But now, he was on the verge of reaching a critical point. If he continued to enhance, it wouldn't be just a matter of recuperating for a few days. He might need half a year, or even several years, for recovery. Immediately, Lu Chongsheng gave up the pursuit of Ghost Bat True Master and maneuvered the Starlight Plate, heading swiftly toward the Yiming ghost sect. Planning to take advantage of his current momentum to demand an explanation from the Yiming ghost sect. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1426, Swish, Swish, Swish. Above the heavenly dome, a blood-red rainbow streaked across the sky, rolling forward, permeating a terrifying chi mechanism. Brilliant golden light continuously tore through the blood rainbow, causing endless blood to rain down from the sky, corroding the land. Damn it! Ghostbat True Master looked deathly pale, his blood-colored magical robe in tatters. Since he broke through core formation, he hadn't been so grievously injured, killed in such a miserable and wretched manner. Today, not only did he perform the substitution tribulation technique, but also the blood-burning technique, burning his origin source. Even though the blood path cultivation technique he practiced makes recovery easier than for other cultivators, it would still take at least a dozen years to recuperate. PSH. Golden claws extended, piercing the heavens and earth, imprisoning the void, almost tearing Ghostbat True Master's body apart, with scarlet blood splattering. Quick, quick! Ghostbat True Master looked toward the Yiming ghost sect ahead, never having felt such a short distance to be so far away. Woo woo woo! At this moment, Ghostbat True Master suddenly heard the sounds of 10,000 ghosts howling, immediately showing joy. Sect Master. A tall, imposing man with deep-set eyes, an eagle nose, and sharp falcon eyes, wearing a black brocade robe, arrived piloting a blood-stained black ghost ship. Great Elder. Yiming Ghost King was deeply moved by the scene before him, filled with horror. He was well aware of his Great Elder's strength. Even he, the Sect Master, was no match. At this moment, the Great Elder was being chased so miserably and wretchedly by a golden peng bird. Moreover, hadn't the Great Elder just left? How did he end up in such a sorry state in such a short time? Nether Ghost Boat, suppress. Yiming Ghost King didn't hesitate, his core formation late-stage magical power surged, and the black ghost ship beneath him roared like 10,000 ghosts, emitting a terrifying demonic might to suppress all things, charging towards the golden-winged heavenly peng. This Nether Ghost Boat is a top-level magical treasure. Wherever it passed, the sky collapsed and the earth shook, rumbling loudly, with endless netherworld ghost shadows appearing, chilling all hearts. Heavenly Peng subdues dragon technique. The golden-winged heavenly peng with a true dragon phantom above its head roared, exuding unmatched ferocity. Facing the ghost ship, it was fearless, its metallic claws glowing cold, as the heavenly peng and true dragon launched, seemingly cleaving the heavens and earth asunder. Boom boom boom. The clash of two terrifying forces immediately stirred up towering waves, engulfing the firmament. From afar, one could only see the tumultuous golden sea and dark ghost energy rising and falling, as if brewing a world-destroying scene. Go, don't get entangled with it. Ghostbat True Master came aboard the Nether Ghost Boat, his face white as a sheet, hurriedly saying to Yiming Ghost King. This golden-winged heavenly peng was too savage. Even his life-bound magic treasure, Netherworld Blood Pool, had developed cracks. Even though the solidity of the Nether Ghost Boat was superior to his Netherworld Blood Pool, it couldn't suppress the golden-winged heavenly peng. If the fight continued, Yiming Ghost King could end up seriously injured. Currently, the Supreme Elder was in closed-door cultivation, preparing to reach nascent soul. If both of them were gravely injured, the Yiming Ghost Sect would fall into an extremely weak state, possibly affecting the Supreme Elder's breakthrough. Go! Without needing Ghostbat True Master to say more, Yiming Ghost King already intended to retreat. The ghost ship under his feet trembled, with mottled bloodstains flowing, forming eerie and ominous rune patterns, crossing over towards the Yiming Ghost Sect. However, how could the golden-winged heavenly peng allow the two to leave so easily? At this moment, it was not only under Lu Changsheng's orders but also unwilling to stop after displaying unmatched ferocity, wanting to tear the two into pieces and devour them. Boom boom boom, golden killing light constantly burst forth, its flames surging to the heavens, tyrannical and peerless, continuously bombarding the nether ghost boat, each strike shattering the void, shaking heaven and earth. If it were an ordinary magical treasure, it would have been torn to shreds by the golden-winged heavenly Peng by now. Great Elder, what exactly happened? Ming Ghost King infused his core formation magical power madly into the nether ghost boat, asking his Great Elder. He wanted to know how he provoked such a supreme demon king. I don't know either. Ghostbat True Master's face was ghostly pale, the spiritual light on his blood-colored magical robe was dim and damaged, nearly ruined. He felt aggrieved and speechless, not knowing how he had provoked such a fiend as Lu Changsheng. I am the sect master of the Yiming Ghost sect, I wonder where my Yiming Ghost sect offended Daoist. Ming Ghost King immediately shouted towards the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Though he could ask the Supreme Elder to leave seclusion and wield the myriad ghosts' blood pool, he was confident in suppressing the golden Peng bird. Yet, after a brief encounter, he sensed the golden-winged heavenly Peng was the fastest in the world. Even his nether ghost boat couldn't shake it off by a fraction. In which case, unless his sect laid an ambush, utilizing the Great Formation to suppress it. Otherwise, if the other side wanted to escape, his sect couldn't stop them. The golden-winged heavenly Peng remained silent. Its job was just to show its might, negotiations had nothing to do with it. Boom boom boom, a body glowing with dazzling golden light, it was like a golden sun, bursting with a ferocious and oppressive presence, bombarding the nether ghost boat, causing a tremendous racket. A moment later, the golden-winged heavenly Peng and nether ghost boat arrived before a gloomy mountain range filled with ghostly energy and dense dark clouds. This was the mountain gate of the Yiming Ghost sect. What is happening? Who dares to cause trouble at my Yiming Ghost sect? What's going on today? First, a core formation cultivator infiltrated the sect, causing Ghost Princess and Ghost Shadow Elder to leave, and afterwards, both the Great Elder and Sect Master left the sect too? Cultivators at the Yiming Ghost sect immediately sensed the terrifying Qi mechanism spreading across the heavens. Some patrolling Qi refinement cultivators felt an overwhelming weight on their bodies, trembling uncontrollably, gasping for breath. This level of combat, even at a great distance, just a few strands of suppressive aura was an immense pressure on them. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1427, Not Good, that's the Sect Master's Ming Ghost Boat. The false core Immortal stationed at the mountain gate saw the Ming Ghost Boat, his heart terrified, face full of disbelief. Absolutely couldn't believe that their own sect master had been pushed to the gate of the mountain. This, it's simply too terrifying, inconceivable. Hurry, activate the mountain protection array. This false core Immortal quickly regained his composure and shouted loudly. Then took out a token and injected mana into it wildly. Boom boom boom, in an instant, the entire Yiming Ghost sect roared, endless ghost energy rose and spread, sealing off the entire sky. The mountain protection array of the Yiming Ghost sect usually operates daily and is a third-rank superior grade entity. But with the advantage of the terrain, its power is not weaker than that of a top-grade third rank. At this moment, operating at full power, its aura climbed step by step, with endless demonic clouds and ghost fog appearing. Under the sealed sky, ghost soldiers and generals faintly appeared. Buzz. At this time, a nascent soul Immortal took over control of the formation, continuously making gesture incantations with both hands, causing a ghost king with a blue face and fangs, body like a mountain, to appear in the endless ghost fog. For such a mountain protection array, it must be controlled by a nascent soul Immortal or a top-level formation master to operate at full power. Roar roar roar. The Ghost King roared, emitting a rapid and violent, deafening sound containing a heart-stopping Qi mechanism, stirring waves of wind. Ah, my head hurts. Quickly cover your ears. This roar didn't harm the golden-winged heavenly Peng, but it made many disciples of the Yiming ghost sect pale, covering their ears, and some even had their bodies explode. This attack wasn't aimed at them, but the sonic onslaught was too terrifying, inevitably affecting some in the rush. The Ghost King's eyes and pupils were blood-red, like Abi Hell, an endless sea of blood, filled with infinite ferocity and dominance. In its hand appeared a simple and dark Hell's long spear, like a ruling underworld god, attacking the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Buzz buzz buzz, the spear tore through the void, forming terrifying vortices, like an underworld, wanting to pull others' souls into it. Other ghost soldiers and generals at this moment formed into countless troops, attacking like a torrent of Yin energy to suppress the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram. The body of the golden-winged heavenly Peng glittered brilliantly, like a burning yin-yang, with the heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram above its head weaving and evolving, radiating an unparalleled sharpness. Although it lacked a core formation law domain, this divine skill, the heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram could counter countless law domain phenomena. Clang! The talons of the golden-winged heavenly Peng entangled with the true dragon phantom clashed with the long spear, causing a piercing metallic clang. The true dragon roared. Ghosts wailed and gods howled. The void erupted with continuous thunderous sounds. The golden dragon patterned divine light and the dark hell's long spear frantically clashed, intertwining and merging unsolvably. Terrifying energy shockwaves raged above and below, tearing the space into cracks, with the land continuously breaking and collapsing. However, in this process, the true dragon phantom on the talons of the golden-winged heavenly Peng gradually dimmed. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly Peng realized it couldn't outlast this fourth-rank Grand Array's Ghost King. But at this moment, its instinctual unwillingness had been triggered. The heavenly Peng battling dragon diagram weaved and evolved above its head, radiating brilliant divine light, making its body seem to ignite with a blazing golden divine flame. What kind of bloodline demon beast is this, so terrifying? It looks somewhat similar to a gold-winged great roc. Could it be a bloodline reversion of a golden-winged great roc? Many cultivators of the Yiming ghost sect were horrified and dumbstruck upon seeing this scene. Even the Yiming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master felt a shiver in their hearts, feeling deeply unsettled when looking at this golden-winged heavenly Peng. Too terrifying. One must know, this is a fourth-rank Grand Array. Though this Ghost King's power isn't as strong as a nascent soul True Lord, it is comparable to a nascent soul, practically a quasi-fourth rank. But now, this golden-winged heavenly Peng could actually confront the Ghost King, simply unimaginable. Fellow Taoist, I'm not sure where my Yiming ghost sect has offended you, could there be some misunderstanding between us? The Yiming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger and spoke to the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Although being attacked at their mountain gate was extremely vexing. But he was keenly aware that it wouldn't be easy to keep this golden-winged heavenly Peng unless they fought bitterly. The golden-winged heavenly Peng still remained silent, radiating fierce might. This demon king is someone else's spiritual pet, perhaps well know when this person arrives. Beside him, the Ghost Bat True Master clutched his chest, speaking pale-faced. He sensed his ancient blood bat nearing, about to arrive. Spiritual pet, the Yiming Ghost King's face was extremely grave. To be able to tame such a spiritual pet, this person's strength is beyond doubt. He just noticed their great elder's ancient blood bat absent, realizing something was amiss. Before long, a massive black hole funnel swirled in the sky, seeming ready to crush all under it. Looking closely, below the funnel, a figure stood tall, with starlight flowing beneath their feet. Golden Peng, come back. Lu Chongsheng looked at the Golden Peng engaging with the Yiming Ghost Sect's Grand Array and called out. His soul was sharp, sensing the terror of this Grand Array before him. The chi mechanism was immense, mighty and vast. Even though he had the fate-defying robe, unsealing divine light, and dozens of third-rank prohibition-breaking talismans, facing this fourth-rank Grand Array, he feared it wouldn't be enough to break through. However, seeing that the Yiming ghost sect only engaged with the golden-winged heavenly Peng through the Grand Array and no one else acted or set up battle formations, it confirmed his suspicion. As long as he demonstrated power and had enough combat strength, the Yiming ghost sect would also be wary. If they're not certain they can kill him, they won't want to fight to the death. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1428, The Golden-Winged Heavenly Peng let out an unwilling cry, clashing with the netherworld long spear in a thunderous explosion, shattering the void continuously, with surging energy sweeping in a pulsating manner in all directions. It then turned into a golden arc and returned beneath Lu Changsheng's feet, its fierce might unparalleled. Hiss! 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 All the cultivators of the Yiming ghost sect were shocked and dumbfounded, unable to believe their eyes upon witnessing this. Such an ultimate demon king was actually someone else's mount. What's going on with this world? However, they also felt a sense of dread upon seeing the slowly rotating black hole funnel above Lu Changsheng's head. They felt that without the protection of the sect's Grand Array, their physical bodies and souls would be crushed to dust. Chirp chirp chirp, at this moment, on the other side, the ancient blood bat, filled with fear, avoided Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly Peng, flying towards the Yiming ghost sect. In fact, its speed was no slower than Lu Changsheng's. It only feared that if it went ahead, it would be blocked by the golden-winged heavenly Peng and Lu Changsheng. Who are you? The Yiming ghost king, dressed in a black brocade robe, stood majestically on the ghost ship and spoke in a deep voice. I am Yang Ming. Your sect's ghost demon true master, as a nascent soul cultivator, shamelessly attacked my son, leaving him half-crippled. I have come to your Yiming ghost sect to demand an explanation. Lu Changsheng, clad in a dark brocade robe, with the formless treasure wheel in his mind like a blazing golden sun, exuded an extraordinary heroic aura, standing atop the brilliantly radiant golden-winged heavenly Peng with a composed and majestic demeanor. What? Ghost Demon True Master? The Yiming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master were taken aback, somewhat bewildered. They never expected the person before them to come for the Ghost Demon True Master. For the sake of a Ghost Demon True Master, did you really have to let the golden-winged heavenly Peng attack so recklessly? Ghost Bat True Master felt utterly aggrieved. Having just seen Lu Changsheng subdue the Ghost Princess and Ghost Shadow True Master, he thought Lu Changsheng was colluding with Chu Qingyi to plot against their sect. But you say you came for the Ghost Demon True Master. Buzz, Lu Changsheng lightly raised his hand, and Chu Qingyi and Lu Qiuanzhen emerged from the Tianyuan lotus onto the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Chu Qingyi and Lu Qiuanzhen, witnessing the situation before them, were both astonished. They did not expect Lu Changsheng to actually arrive at the gates of the Yiming ghost sect. This was a provocation, a blatant provocation to any power. However, seeing the Yiming ghost sect's mountain protection array fully activated yet not attacking, they realized something was amiss. Although Lu Changsheng had already clashed with the Yiming ghost sect, he wasn't engaging in full-scale battle, indicating negotiations were ongoing. Chu Qingyi keenly noticed the Ghost Bat True Master on the Yiming ghost ship. Seeing the Yiming ghost sect's great elder with a pale face, devoid of color, and his blood-red magical robe dim and tattered, she was deeply puzzled. There was no need to guess, such methods were Lu Changsheng's doing. Lu Changsheng had inflicted such misery on this Ghost Bat True Master, no wonder the Yiming ghost sect was willing to sit down and negotiate. Because if they weren't confident in dealing with Lu Changsheng, enmity would lead to endless troubles. Hand over the Ghost Demon True Master. Lu Changsheng continued, his indifferent voice like rumbling thunder echoing through the skies and earth. Daoist, you subdued 2 of our Yiming ghost sect's nascent soul cultivators, and now you demand people from our sect, isn't this too overbearing? The Ghost Bat True Master's voice was icy and bone-chilling. Even though he was displeased with the Ghost Demon True Master, the latter was still his sect's nascent soul cultivator. If bullied to their doorstep and the ghost demon true master handed over, the Yiming ghost sect would become a complete laughing stock, with its reputation plummeting. Moreover, with such an event, how could other disciples still serve the sect? How would guest elders and tributes be willing to join their Yiming ghost sect? Overbearing? Your Yiming ghost sect, shamelessly bullying the young, attacked my son, assaulted my wife, and you call me overbearing. Since your Yiming ghost sect isn't willing to give me an explanation, then don't blame me for being shameless. Lu Chongsheng sneered coldly, speaking in a chilling tone. Faced with this Yiming ghost sect, he indeed had no choice. But if your Yiming ghost sect had the ability, then never leave the gates. Why is he spouting nonsense again? Originally tense-faced, Chu Qingyi felt her heart skip a beat upon hearing Lu Changsheng's words, looking at him with slight annoyance. But seeing Lu Changsheng's profound gaze and composed demeanor, standing alone against the Yiming ghost sect, she couldn't help but lightly press her red lips and lower her head. Daoist acting in such a manner, aren't you disregarding our Yiming ghost sect? The Yiming ghost king's face was unsightly, his late-stage core formation mana surging up and down. The nascent soul cultivator in charge of the mountain protection array saw this and immediately fully operated the array, with rolling mist moving as if sealing the heavenly dome. With a green face and tusks, like a mountain, the ghost king roared ferociously, clutching the hell's long spear, staring fixedly at Lu Chongsheng, forming an indescribable terrifying presence. Boom! However, Lu Chongsheng was completely fearless, with surging and majestic magical power mechanism flowing, as the yin-yang mixed whole great mill above crushed the firmament, directly tearing a rift in the demon cloud-covered sky. Since I dared to come to your Yiming ghost sect, I naturally have some confidence in my divine skills. Hand over the ghost demon true master. Lu Changsheng's face remained calm and indifferent as he spoke coldly. The Yiming Ghost King and Ghost Bat True Master's faces were quite unsightly. The golden-winged heavenly peng alone rendered them helpless, requiring reliance on the sect's array. And Lu Chongsheng emanated an aura that made them feel danger. Knowing that the opponent dared to come knocking, his means were undoubtedly extraordinary. In this situation, they must request that the Supreme Elder come out to have a chance of resolution. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1429, But now the Supreme Elder is in closed-door cultivation, and even if he emerges, he may not be able to suppress Lu Chongsheng and the golden-winged heavenly peng. Moreover, Lu Chongsheng still has two nascent soul immortals from the Yiming ghost sect under his control. For any sect, nascent soul immortals are incredibly precious and are top-level combat power. If they lose two nascent soul immortals, it would be a severe loss of primordial energy for the Yiming ghost sect, especially at such a critical juncture. Notify Ghost Demon True Master to come over. The Yiming Ghost King, after his expression fluctuated between gloom and brightness, said in a deep voice. Yes, Sect Master. A false core immortal hurriedly responded and headed to the cave mansion of the Ghost Demon True Master. Moments later, the Ghost Demon True Master, with a pale face and somewhat disordered magic aura, arrived at the mountain gate, somewhat bewildered. He had been attacked by the old demon Jintian a few days ago and had just returned to the sect, recuperating and healing. He never expected that someone would come to seek an explanation from him. Their sect, after all, was one of the three great demon sects of the Jin Kingdom, who would dare cause trouble at their sect? He saw Lu Qiuanjun on the golden-winged heavenly peng, his scarlet eyes suddenly contracted, not expecting Lu Qiuanjun to be the one causing trouble. Ghost Demon True Master, the other party claims you attacked and severely damaged his son's foundation. Is this true? The Yiming Ghost King looked at the Ghost Demon True Master and said in a deep voice. Reporting to the sect master, this child killed my son, so I attacked him. The Ghost Demon True Master replied hoarsely and firmly. Daoist Yangming, this matter arose because of your son, how can you put the blame on our sect? The Yiming Ghost King immediately said, his voice icy and chilling. "Humph, if this old dog hadn't provoked my son, would such an incident have been caused? Moreover, I would not intervene in disputes among the younger generation." He issued a bounty and dispatched over a dozen Foundation establishment cultivators to hunt my son, and I didn't say a word. But as a nascent soul cultivator, to attack my son and cripple his foundation, isn't that going too far? As Lu Chongqing spoke, the yin-yang mixed whole great mill above his head trembled violently, stirring the winds and clouds across the 9 heavens, tearing and crushing the canopy of the sky, with a momentum that was ferocious and terrifying. Screech! The golden-winged heavenly peng seemed to sense its master's anger and screeched to the sky. The heavenly peng battling dragon diagram interweaved and spread, and countless golden divine feathers arranged neatly, like a golden ocean, with a chi mechanism that was terrifying and a killing intent that was shocking. Upon hearing these words, many disciples of the Yiming ghost sect felt that the ghost demon true master had indeed gone too far. Duel among the younger generation should remain among them. If everyone used their seniority to bully the young, there would be no need for any force to cultivate future generations. Furthermore, if the other party's son could remain unscathed among so many peers, it meant he was a top-tier prodigy. Such a prodigy ending up with his foundation half-crippled, no wonder there was such anger. At this moment, many Foundation establishment disciples of the Yiming ghost sect felt a wave of worry and fear in their hearts. They feared that Lu Chongqing might also use his seniority to bully the young and take action against them, the Foundation establishment cultivators. If that were the case, they might not need to leave the sect anymore. Daoist Yangming, it can't be put that way. Your son killed the son of the ghost demon true master, and killed several disciples of our Yiming ghost sect. He must bear some responsibility. Although the ghost demon true master was wrong, as a parent, you should know the pain of losing a child. Why not let ghost demon true master offer compensation and apologize to the young friend? Wouldn't that be better? The Yiming ghost king tried to soften his tone, transforming Lu Changsheng's conflict into one between him and the ghost demon true master. In this way, it would not overly affect the reputation of their Yiming ghost sect afterward. The face of the ghost demon true master beside him was ugly, but he did not dare to say anything. After all, he had caused such a big trouble for the sect, and if it could not be resolved, his own future in the sect would not be pleasant. Moreover, being able to resolve this grievance now is good, otherwise, if Lu Chongqing held a grudge, who knows how he might die, and it's not possible to hide in the sect and isolate himself indefinitely. Does Daoist think that I would care about such compensation? Lu Chongqing said indifferently, his expression still cold. This sect master naturally believes Daoist does not lack such compensation, but it is merely some compensation for your son. Of course, if Daoist has any additional conditions, feel free to voice them. The Yiming ghost sect saw that Lu Chongqing did not take action and was willing to dialogue, so they came with purpose. Moreover, he saw that Lu Chuanjin on the golden-winged heavenly peng had a disordered aura and blood-red eyes, as if eroded by blood fiend, guessing that Lu Chongqing might want to resolve the issue through their side. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc. Please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1430, My son has been harmed by this old dog, the blood fiend eroding his foundation, almost half ruined. If your sect can resolve this matter, then we can continue discussions. If you cannot resolve it, then there's no need to talk further. Lu Chongqing spoke coldly, the yin-yang mixed whole great millstone hovering above his head spinning endlessly, its supreme power reversing life and death and yin-yang, threatening to engulf this realm. His primary objective on this journey was to solve Lu Quanzhen's physical condition. To see if the Yiming ghost sect had a way to resolve it. Blood fiend invading the body? May I take a look at your son? The Yiming ghost king squinted his eyes, looking toward Lu Chuanjin, speaking in a deep voice. Since Lu Chongqing came with an agenda as he speculated, then the issue becomes easier to tackle. The greatest fear was that the other party sought vengeance for his son, leading to a fight to the death. especially with one possessing such overwhelming combat strength, whose background and origins remain unknown. That's fine. The formless treasure will rotated behind Lu Changsheng's head, gently opening a tiny gap in the yin-yang mysterious divine light enveloping Lu Chuanjun. Buzz, instantaneously, Lu Chuanjun felt a deep and terrifying aura, akin to an abyss and hell. This wasn't directed at him but was the suppressive presence of the Yiming Ghost Sect's fourth-rank Grand Array. Even a mere wisp of its aura is incredibly terrifying for Qi refinement and foundation establishment cultivators. Soon, a divine sense probed toward him. Lu Chuanjun offered no resistance, knowing it was the Yiming Ghost King's divine sense checking his physical condition. Indeed, it is netherworld blood evil. Not only has his physical body and mana been eroded by the blood fiend, but also his soul and Tao foundation. However, this situation seems somewhat like someone channeled the netherworld blood evil technique into him, resulting in a deviation and damage to his foundation. The Yiming Ghost King's brow furrowed, finding Lu Quanzhen's situation quite peculiar. Ordinary individuals would never be eroded by the netherworld blood evil to such an extent. Or rather, being eroded to this degree would have long resulted in death. It would be impossible to still be alive. When he wanted to examine Lu Quanzhen's situation more profoundly, a grand and vast divine sense appeared, isolating and repelling his own divine sense. This person's divine sense. The Yiming Ghost King's heart suddenly jolted, then looked at Lu Changsheng with a face full of shock. He had cultivated Ghost Dao cultivation techniques, and his divine sense was unlike that of ordinary people, already comparable to the core formation peak. Yet, in front of Lu Changsheng's divine sense momentarily, he felt small, and couldn't help but suspect Lu Changsheng's divine sense had already reached nascent soul level. This was very astonishing. Although core formation peak and nascent soul were separated by a thin line, they were vastly different. If in the core formation stage, one possesses nascent soul divine sense, it's simply shocking. Suppressing the shock in his heart, he said in a deep voice, "Your son's foundation is entangled by the blood fiend, his foundation damaged. I deeply apologize. If you wish for a resolution, there are two options available." The Yiming Ghost King spoke as such while simultaneously sending a transmission to the Ghost Demon True Master to inquire about Lu Quanzhen's situation. "Sect Master, I am not clear on this matter either." The Ghost Demon True Master felt extremely aggrieved at this moment. Not only did his son die at Lu Quanzhen's hands, but also the disciples sent to hunt him ended up dead. Then, he, a revered nascent soul immortal, proactively took on a foundation establishment junior, only for his pursuit of revenge to quickly be interrupted by his old adversary Jintian Old Demon, leading to severe injuries. Now, he was being approached by the other party's elder, feeling utterly frustrated and annoyed. Jintian Old Demon, 5 Poisons Cult's heavenly spider emissary? The Yiming Ghost King furrowed his brows upon hearing this. He was somewhat aware of the matters between Jintian Old Demon and Ghost Demon True Master. But why was Nangong Meili involved? What are the options? Lu Changsheng's voice was deep and robust as he spoke. Firstly, if your son wishes to switch to cultivating the netherworld blood evil technique, our sect can use the myriad ghosts blood pool to assist him in cultivating this technique, thus neutralizing the blood fiend. The Yiming Ghost King spoke up. These sect cultivation techniques are not passed outside. But should Lu Chuanjun transition to the netherworld blood evil technique, he will have ties with their Yiming Ghost sect. Subsequent cultivation techniques, divine abilities, magical treasures, all would rely on their Yiming Ghost sect. Then through these, they could turn animosities into friendship with Lu Changsheng or even make him indebted. However, he also knew the likelihood of the other party choosing this option was very small and wouldn't agree. Aside from this, our Yiming Ghost sect has another cultivation technique that can resolve your son's netherworld blood evil. However, this technique is difficult to cultivate, has certain risks, and considering your son's current state, it is somewhat troublesome to cultivate. The Yiming Ghost King continued. The netherworld blood evil originated from their Yiming Ghost sect, so naturally, they have methods to resolve it. The simplest method would merely require Lu Chuanjun to enter the myriad ghosts' blood pool and invest a vast amount of heavenly and earthly treasures to easily resolve it. However, such supreme treasures, methods, would never be used for outsiders. What cultivation technique? Lu Changsheng inquired. Whoosh! The Yinming Ghost King produced a black jade slip in hand, shooting it swiftly toward Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng lightly raised his hand, easily but heavily grasping the jade slip, scanning it with his divine sense, instantly seeing through it a cultivation technique, Netherworld King technique. This cultivation technique doesn't expel and dissipate the netherworld blood evil, but refines it for one's own use. However, to transform the blood fiend into personal use, one must cultivate this technique to the second level. But given Lu Quanzhen's current physical state, let alone reaching the second level, just cultivating this technique itself is quite challenging. If Daoist Yangming chooses this method, our sect can also provide a Vajra Sharira as compensation. This Sharira can suppress the netherworld blood evil, balance your son's physical body, and assist in cultivating this technique. The Yinming Ghost King spoke, demonstrating ample sincerity. Primarily, he truly wished to avoid entanglements with the ominous star that is Lu Changsheng, preferring to send him away swiftly. Vajra Sharira? Lu Changsheng raised an eyebrow. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1431. Back then, after obtaining the Brahman Demon True Saint technique, cultivation required heavenly demon blood, demonic Tao origin, and Buddhist relic, so he slightly learned about the Buddhist relic. He knew that in Jiang country, Yu country, and this area of Jin kingdom, there was simply no Buddhist sect presence. Unexpectedly, this Yiming ghost sect actually had the Buddhist Vajra Sharira. It can only be said that a sect with thousands of years of heritage and accumulation truly has an extraordinary foundation. Among the sect treasure vault were many rare heavenly and earthly treasures hardly seen by the outside world. What grade? Lu Changsheng inquired. In fact, on seeing this Netherworld King technique, he was somewhat confident in solving the Lu Chuanjun issue. Currently, Lu Quanzhen's body was too weak. But as long as he continuously healed him with the healing divine light and Lu Maiage's Tai True Water, Lu Quanzhen's body could be gradually nurtured. Once Lu Quanzhen's body improved sufficiently to slightly suppress the netherworld blood evil, he could attempt to cultivate this Netherworld King technique. However, upon hearing about the Vajra Sharira, Lu Changsheng was also interested in seeing it. Third-rank Vajra Sharira, used a few times, with some energy consumed, but enough to suppress the blood evil in your son's body. The Yinming Ghost King said thus, then signaled someone to fetch this Vajra Sharira. Take a look at this cultivation method. Lu Changsheng handed the Netherworld King technique in his hand to Lu Chuanjun for him to see himself. Netherworld King technique. Lu Chuanjun recognized that this was a body refinement method, turning the blood evil for his own use. The only problem was that his current condition made it hard to cultivate. Or else, after cultivation, his body might undergo other changes. Father, Lu Chuanjun immediately expressed his concern. Lu Changsheng nodded in acknowledgement. Daoist, please see. A moment later, the Yinming Ghost King held a brocade box in his hand. Upon opening it, inside was a thumb-sized, milky white bead emitting a faint golden glow. Is this the Vajra Sharira? Lu Changsheng's eyes lit up, shooting out two beams of golden light, looking at this Vajra Sharira. He could see that this Vajra Sharira somewhat resembled the nascent soul of cultivators and the inner core of demon beasts. However, as the Yinming Ghost King said, this relic had been used several times, with its energy somewhat depleted. In that case, as long as that old dog agrees to one more condition of mine, this matter will rest here. Lu Changsheng nodded, looking at the ghost demon true master beside the Yinming Ghost King, his eyes gleaming fiercely. The ghost demon true master, upon being gazed at by Lu Changsheng, immediately felt a chill, as if facing a formidable enemy, and instinctively retreated a step. Danger. With a simple look, he could feel a terrifying danger as if his life was soon to end. Damn, with a father like this kid has, who knew not to mention it earlier. The ghost demon true master cursed silently in his heart. What condition? The Yiming Ghost King, clad in a black brocade robe, exuded authority without anger, his core formation late-stage mana surged, and his aura was not weak. Very simple, this old dog likes to bully the weak, this seat will not bully him. Just let him withstand 3 moves from me. Lu Chongqing spoke with a calm and indifferent demeanor. He also knew, hoping for Yiming Ghost Sect to hand over the Ghost Demon True Master was impossible. Unless he completely overpowered Yiming Ghost Sect, no faction would make such a decision. At these words, the scene immediately erupted. All cultivators glanced at the golden-winged heavenly peng under Lu Chongqing, then at the black hole funnel above him, grinding the universe and the sun and the moon, and finally at the Ghost Demon True Master, their faces twitching. Even knowing the Ghost Demon True Master as a nascent soul cultivator, cultivating the blood path cultivation technique with tenacious life force, they didn't think he could withstand 3 moves from Lu Chongqing. This is impossible. The Ghost Demon True Master shouted loudly. Not to mention that he was already injured. Even in peak condition, he dared not face 3 moves from Lu Chongqing head-on. His great elder, being a core formation late-stage existence, looked miserable and embarrassed at the moment. Going up to take 3 moves was tantamount to a death sentence. I have already made concessions on this matter, Daoist, do not go too far. Yiming Ghost King said in a deep voice. Though he felt the Ghost Demon True Master was somewhat disgraceful, it was impossible to have him take 3 moves now. After all, the obvious could see that under 3 moves, even if the Ghost Demon True Master didn't die, he would be reduced to a cripple. Too far. My son's foundation is half-wasted, lifespan greatly reduced, even if the netherworld blood evil is resolved, his Dao foundation remains damaged, making future core formation difficult, and you call this excessive. Lu Changsheng's muscles burned with purple-red flames, as fierce as a 100-zhang flood dragon coiled. Above his head, the yin-yang mixed whole great millstone spun furiously, bursting with endless black and white divine light, inverting the universe, disturbing yin and yang, shattering the void, and twisting all things. Beside him, Chu Qingyi and Lu Chuanzhen were shocked, feeling that under the great mill, the world withered. Roar, 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 Yiming Ghost Sect's mountain protection array prohibitions flowed, the Ghost King roared and howled as if a mountain, waving the hell's long robe in his hand, countless nether vortexes appeared. The clash of 2 intangible chi mechanisms swept the heavens and the earth in all directions, pressing the slowly moaning sky as if the world were lamenting. Daoist Yangming, I said, the Ghost Demon True Master will compensate for this matter, you may voice any compensation requirements. With fists clenched under his sleeves, the Yiming Ghost King suppressed his inner anger, wore a dignified expression, and spoke in a deep voice. Father, the matter of the Ghost Demon True Master, I will personally resolve in the future, please spare his life for now. At this moment, Lu Chuanzhen also stepped forward to advise. He could see that today, Father's desire to kill the Ghost Demon True Master was unattainable. Unless his power completely suppressed them, no faction would concede and sacrifice their sect elder. If the intimidation was too heavy, even if Father was unafraid, it might invite unnecessary trouble. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1432, Alright. Lu Changsheng's expression was indifferent. After a moment of silence, he said, 3rd rank lifespan extension pill, lifespan treasures, coagulation crystal elixir, top-level core formation spiritual object. That's impossible. Upon hearing this, Ghost Demon True Master immediately shouted loudly. Although the compensation would be covered by the sect for him, he would still have to repay it himself through contributions and sect tasks. Resources like the third-rank lifespan extension pill and coagulation crystal elixir are strategic-level resources, with immeasurable value. He already lacked resources, making it difficult to break through the core formation middle stage. If he owed these resources, there would be no hope of breaking through the core formation middle stage in his lifetime. Yinming Ghost King did not speak, turning to look at the Great Elder, Ghost Bat True Master, beside him. For such strategic-level resources as coagulation crystal elixir, even he as the sect master could not make the decision. Give it to him. Ghost Bat True Master said in a deep voice. He initially had some intention of procrastinating and consuming time. But after observing for so long without Lu Changsheng's mana dwindling, he realized there was a problem with the opponent. In such circumstances, if they let him escape, there wouldn't be a single person in the sect capable of defeating Lu Changsheng or the golden-winged heavenly Peng. Even if the Supreme Elder emerged, it would be of no use. Unless he constantly carried the Supreme Treasure, Myriad Ghost's blood pool, he wouldn't be able to face Lu Changsheng and the golden Peng bird, and could only retreat. Thus, he was really unwilling to continue entangling with Lu Changsheng and harboring grievances. Consider it as spending money to avoid disaster. It's acceptable. On behalf of Ghost Demon True Master, he'll offer another coagulation crystal elixir, a third-rank lifespan extension pill, and a core formation spiritual object as compensation. Yinming Ghost King glanced at Ghost Demon True Master beside him, spoke with a somewhat sullen and ugly expression. Today, being bullied to the mountain gate and forced to offer such compensation is an utter humiliation for him. It's likely that soon, this matter will draw attention and discussion from other forces, leading to his sect's reputation falling greatly. Now, it's important to maintain stability. Once the Supreme Elder breaks through to nascent soul, all rumors will vanish like smoke, welcoming a major reckoning. Ghost Bat True Master, as if knowing what Yinming Ghost King was contemplating, spoke in a low voice. Today, arguably the most wretched would be him, this great elder of Yiming Ghost sect. But considering Lu Changsheng's strength and his sect's situation, he chose to swallow this indignation. Lu Changsheng was slightly surprised. He didn't expect Yiming Ghost sect to agree so readily. He initially thought a single third-rank lifespan extension pill or coagulation crystal elixir would suffice. Good. As Daoist said, with this compensation, this grievance shall cease. Lu Changsheng nodded, saying no more. Knowing that this sort of matter shouldn't be pushed any further. Otherwise, if pushed too far, Yiming Ghost sect might directly use the Myriad Ghost's blood pool to pursue him, or even spend a great deal to enlist the nascent soul true lords from Five Poisons cult and Heavenly Corpse sect to take action. Since this matter's grievances have been resolved, shouldn't Yangming Daoist release the two elders you have suppressed from our sect? Yinming Ghost King looked at Lu Changsheng, speaking in a deep voice. He was willing to pay such a high price not only because he didn't want to continue entangling with Lu Changsheng but also because there were still two nascent soul cultivators in his hands. Lu Changsheng raised an eyebrow, his face serious as he said, "One thing at a time, this matter concerned the Ghost Demon True Master's attack on my son, and those two attacked my wife. How could it be dismissed so easily? Yangming Daoist, one must know restraint in their actions." Yinming Ghost King finally couldn't suppress the anger in his heart. Individually, they were indeed not a match for Lu Changsheng and the golden-winged heavenly Peng. But their Yiming Ghost sect has endured for thousands of years. Besides the supreme treasure, Myriad Ghost's blood pool, they also have several secret treasures and killing devices. If employed properly, these could potentially annihilate Lu Changsheng. Lu Daoist, Chu Qingyi, seeing Lu Changsheng standing up for her, was touched and softly suggested there was no need for such actions. After all, truly infuriating Yiming Ghost sect would not benefit either side. Lu Changsheng squeezed her palm and said to Yinming Ghost King, "Two people, two coagulation crystal elixirs, you can redeem them." He knew that with the Ghost Demon True Master situation, Yiming Ghost sect had already conceded. He still wanted to extort more from the two, but Yiming Ghost sect wouldn't agree. After all, such matters involve not only resources as compensation but also face. That's impossible. Yinming Ghost King directly said coldly. This wasn't just unwillingness to take another step back. Coagulation crystal elixir is a strategic reserved resource, and their Yiming Ghost sect doesn't have many. If they took out 2 more for Lu Changsheng, and the Supreme Elder falls or the sect encounters danger in the future, they wouldn't be able to cultivate new nascent soul immortals immediately. Lu Daoist, like strategic level resources such as coagulation crystal elixir, even Yiming Ghost sect reserves at most several, not too many. Chu Qingyi transmitted her voice to Lu Changsheng. Coagulation crystal elixirs are strategic level resources for any force and cannot be supplied in unlimited quantities. Not possible for it to be written off like this. Daoist can name a price to redeem them. Lu Changsheng spoke out, the formless treasure will at the back of his head spinning, opening the realm, suppressing the seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master beside him. The seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master were stunned and bewildered upon seeing the situation before them. What the heck? Isn't the Great Elder here to save us? How did this person come to our mountain gate, and the sect's grand array is operational? It's the Ghost Princess. Ghost Shadow True Master has also been suppressed by this man. Seeing this scene, the cultivators of Yiming Ghost sect were shocked, staring dumbfounded. The seductive beauty was fine, being merely an initial stage core formation cultivator. But Ghost Shadow True Master had long since broken through to the core formation middle stage, and having cultivated the Netherworld Myriad Ghost Art, even late-stage core formation cultivators would generally find it difficult to suppress him. Yet now, he had been suppressed and captured by Lu Changsheng. This was very astonishing, incredibly astonishing. At this moment, all the false core immortals and core formation cultivators on the scene had disdainful looks directed toward Ghost Demon True Master. If there were anything better to trouble, it brought such a calamity upon them. If this person disregarded martial virtues and lurked outside, hunting them down, none of them would be able to escape from Lu Changsheng's grasp. Yinming Ghost King's mana was surging all over, his robe fluttering, wanting to directly activate the grand array and charge at Lu Changsheng. But he forcibly suppressed his anger and looked at the Great Elder beside him. After consulting for a while, they were willing to offer 1 more coagulation crystal elixir and 3 ordinary core formation spiritual objects. Compared to coagulation crystal elixir, for these top-level forces, core formation spiritual objects were not rare, they had normal production pathways. Agreed. Hearing this, Lu Changsheng did not haggle. Immediately, both sides exchanged vows. Yinming Ghost King gave the complete Netherworld King technique, Vajra Sharira, 1 coagulation crystal elixir, 3rd rank lifespan extension pill, and 1 top-level core formation spiritual object to Lu Changsheng. Lu Changsheng cast aside the suppressed seductive beauty and ghost shadow true master to Yinming Ghost King. Yinming Ghost King tossed 1 coagulation crystal elixir and 3 ordinary core formation spiritual objects to Lu Changsheng. Given all this, grievances are settled. Lu Changsheng said solemnly, then directly signaled the golden-winged heavenly peng to leave. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng screeched, its whole body radiant in gold, soaring in mid-air with spread wings, tearing through the sky, disappearing like a long rainbow. If you find any errors, ads pop-up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1433, Yangming True Master. The Yinming Ghost King clenched his fists tightly, his face gloomy as water after seeing the disappearance of the golden-winged heavenly peng. Today, their Yiming Ghost sect being provoked in such a manner was simply a great humiliation. Ghost Demon True Master, did you say that the shocking Heaven Old Demon and the 5 Poisons cult's heavenly spider suddenly appeared? At this time, he looked towards the Ghost Demon True Master beside him and asked coldly. Although the grievances are clear, it ends here. But this great loss, how could their Yiming Ghost sect possibly swallow it? If the Supreme Elder did not break through to the nascent soul, it would be fine. Once their Supreme Elder breaks through to the nascent soul, they will naturally settle this matter with the other party. Yes, Sect Master. The Ghost Demon True Master at this moment seemed much older, with a somewhat stooped figure. The compensation given to Lu Chongsheng would mostly be accounted on him afterward. At this moment, as if thinking of something, he spoke, Sect Master, Nangong Mili might know the identity information of this person. At that time, Nangong Mili faced the shocking heaven-old demon and mentioned, do you know the identity of this person? Although the identity information was not revealed, he might know something. The Ghost Demon True Master said in a hoarse voice. Nangong Mili, the Yiming Ghost King's face slightly tightened. He felt that Nangong Mili's involvement was somewhat strange when he heard the Ghost Demon True Master's words. After pondering for a moment, he looked at the Ghost Princess beside him and inquired about Chu Qingjia's situation, wanting to know the other's background. Previously, Chu Qingyi caused some commotion, but he didn't know what was going on. Reporting to the Sect Master, the enchanting woman immediately recounted the situation of Chu Qingyi and the divine skills Lu Chongsheng used after appearing. Screech. The golden-winged heavenly peng spread its wings in the sky, stirring up fierce gang winds like a golden rainbow, directly charging into the 9th heavenly gang wind layer. Lu Chongsheng placed Lu Chuanjun into the Tianyuan lotus. At this speed of flight, he must expend great magical power to protect Lu Chuanjun. But after the recent battle, he was greatly depleted and could no longer afford to waste mana. Meanwhile, the 9 treasures Rui Bone divine skill ceased functioning, the enhancement of essence energy ebbed like a tide, making Lu Chongsheng feel weak and sore all over, his face exhausted. Lu Daoist, are you okay? Chu Qingyi noticed the terrifying spiritual pressure, as boundless as the sea around Lu Chongsheng, dissipate, his aura somewhat chaotic, and immediately showed concern. She had been worried that Lu Chongsheng, using secret techniques to enhance his cultivation strength, might cause some damage or after-effects. After all, these kinds of secret techniques often have side effects, causing stress and damage to the body. And Lu Changsheng's enhancement was terrifyingly extreme, lasting so long, it bound to have adverse effects. Cough, 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 Lu Chongsheng immediately coughed twice. Then, his weak and unstable body leaned on Chu Qingjia's tall and graceful figure, shaking his head and gently saying, I'm fine, just a bit weak, they'll be fine after a rest. Being held like this by Lu Chongsheng, Chu Qingyi lightly bit her red lips and then supported him, softly saying, Lu Daoist, we must leave the region boundary of the Yiming Ghost Sect as soon as possible. The Ghost Bat True Master must know that you will be in a weak period next, and might invite a diviner to deduce your situation. Although grievances are clear. But she was very aware that such matters, the Yiming Ghost Sect would not easily let go. Divination? Lu Chongsheng raised an eyebrow. His fate-defying robe had the effect of blocking divination deductions. The Tianyuan lotus could also obscure heavenly secrets. Unless the Yiming Ghost Sect invites a 4th-rank divination master and spends lifespan, it would be difficult to deduce his situation information. Don't worry, I have a secret treasure that can isolate divination deductions and confuse heavenly secrets. Lu Chongsheng embraced Chu Qingyi, resting his head on her fragrant shoulder, inhaling the scent of her hair, and said gently. Feeling the hot breath by her ear and the hands clasped around her waist and hips, Chu Qingjia's delicate body trembled slightly, feeling somewhat weak, thinking to herself how could he be so restless in this condition, but considering Lu Changsheng's current state of weakness, she didn't say anything. The Tianyuan lotus has the effect of obscuring and concealing heavenly secrets deductions, but before Chuanjun fell into the hands of the Ghost Demon True Master, we must still be careful. These demonic path cultivators, cultivating the blood path cultivation technique, might have Quanzhen's blood, potentially allowing them to deduce clues. Chu Qingyi knew that Lu Changsheng's Tianyuan lotus was just one step short of advancing to the heavenly Yuan Dao lotus, which would have the effect of obscuring heavenly secrets. But aside from Lu Chongsheng himself, Lu Chuanjun must also be cautious. Hearing this, Lu Chongsheng immediately realized that not only Lu Chuanzhen but also Meng Xiaochan and Nangong Mili should be reminded to be careful. A few days ago, he had been with Lu Chuanzhen at the Immortal Spider Marketplace. If the Yiming Ghost sect invites a divination grandmaster, they might trace some clues. No wonder few dare to provoke these major forces. Not only do you need to crush them in strength, but you must be alone, without any weak points, otherwise, it is too easy to leave hidden threats. Lu Chongsheng pondered in his mind, realizing that these top-level forces are very troublesome to deal with. Making sure there are no hidden risks and being foolproof is extremely difficult. Otherwise, once these forces get some clues, they might someday appear like a venomous snake, coming up to bite you. If you don't have other items to confuse heavenly secrets, let Chuanzhen stay in the cave heaven as much as possible during this time. When I return, I will apply for a heavenly secrets jade from the sect, which can block heavenly secrets deductions. Chu Qingyi said softly. Although there are few who are proficient in divination deductions, one cannot be too careful. Therefore, the immortal sects have measures to prevent heavenly secrets deductions. Otherwise, if the sect's true inheritors or elders go out, and their general situation is deduced by enemy forces, wouldn't everything be in vain, even leading to interception and assassination? If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible. Chapter 1434, Alright, thank you, Qing-yi. Lu Chongsheng held the other's delicate hand, feeling very touched. Actually, Lu Chuanzhen only needed to return to Bai Lake Mountain, and the problem wouldn't be too significant. The mysterious heaven spiritual vine on Baiyun Peak not only gathers fortune but also shields from heavenly secrets. However, given the good intentions of the beauty, he naturally wouldn't refuse. Qing-yi, what do you plan to do next? Lu Chongsheng embraced the beauty and asked aloud. I came to the Jin Kingdom this time to investigate the matter of the Supreme Elder of the Yiming Ghost sect attempting to reach the nascent soul stage. Now that such a matter has arisen in the Yiming Ghost sect, they must be fully alert, and even the entire cultivation world of Jin Kingdom will be on edge, so I plan to return directly. Chu Qingyi fell silent for a moment, then sighed slightly. Her main purpose on this journey, besides her mission, was to temper her sword heart. But along the way to Jin Kingdom, she had done quite a bit of demon slaying, yet her mind was still not completely clear, and she ended up in Lu Changsheng's arms again. Especially recently, seeing Lu Changsheng's unique side, her heart was stirred, and she felt restless and confused. In such a situation, she felt there was no point in continuing to temper, and it was better to just go back. Lu Daoist, do you have anything else to do next? Chu Qingyi asked. Although she was avoiding Lu Chongsheng, she couldn't rest easy with him alone under the current circumstances. Thinking of staying by his side, she could look after him a bit. I still have some matters to attend to. If you're not in a hurry, we can go back together later. Lu Chongsheng planned to give some instructions to Nangong Mili and Meng Xiaochan before leaving Jin Kingdom. I'm not in a hurry. How is your condition right now? If you need my help with anything, just let me know. Chu Qingyi bit her red lip gently and said. In her view, Lu Changsheng's outburst just now would require at least a year or half of recovery. I'm not in any major trouble, a little rest will suffice. Lu Chongsheng shook his head. The 9 treasures Rui Bone, compared to other blood-burning secret techniques, as long as it's within the bearable range of the physical body, won't cause much after-effect, needing basically just 10 days to half a month of rest. The main thing is to go see Nangong Mili, otherwise, this after-effect will require at least 10 days to half a month of dual cultivation to heal. But the thought of going to see Nangong Mili now gave Lu Chongsheng a headache. After all, Chu Qingyi is a disciple of the righteous immortal sects. If she knew about his entanglement with the heavenly spider of the 5 poisons cult, it might lead to a bad impression. Don't push yourself. Chu Qingyi didn't believe Lu Chongsheng wasn't in trouble. Alright, actually my condition is quite poor. If I rely on the Sun-Moon Samsara technique, it could alleviate it a bit, Lu Chongsheng whispered in her ear, his voice deep as he looked at the beauty with a cold exterior but a warm heart. Hearing this, Chu Qingjia's cheeks blushed instantly, burning hot and spreading to her ears. How could he be so inappropriate? Qing Yi, can you help me? Lu Chongsheng looked at her, his voice weak. Chu Qingyi, although she felt Lu Chongsheng did it on purpose. But she knew the Sun-Moon Samsara technique, recognized its profound and mysterious wisdom, not only enhancing cultivation level, breaking through bottlenecks, etc., but also for, if she used this technique to assist Lu Chongsheng, it would indeed help him. But in this way, wouldn't she become even more tangled with him? It's nothing. Lu Chongsheng sighed with a hint of loneliness. After a long silence, Chu Qingyi said in a barely audible voice, just healing, what? Lu Chongsheng was stunned, not expecting Chu Qingyi to agree. He thought to himself that this sword immortal child was indeed, a bit easy to trick. Of course, this also indicated that Chu Qingyi genuinely had feelings for him. Otherwise, why would she be willing to heal him like this? Sigh, Lu Chongsheng sighed inwardly, thinking that if it weren't for Xiao Xie and Yun Wanshang, his emotional journey with Chu Qingyi might have been much smoother. Thinking of this, he felt a bit troubled, unable to imagine how Chu Qingyi would react if she found out about his matters with Yun Wanshang. After all, compared to Xiao Xie, Chu Qingyi was raised by Yun Wanshang since childhood, with deeper feelings. Just healing, don't overthink. Chu Qingyi pressed her red lips, adding. Yes, I know. Lu Chongsheng quickly responded. However, in the current situation, it's impossible for him to perform an internal cultivation session with Chu Qingyi in the 9th Heavenly Gang Wind layer. Indicating that leaving the Yiming Ghost Sect territory was the priority. Chu Qingyi would head to the Tianyuan Lotus first, while he used a secret technique to make the golden-winged Heavenly Peng leave swiftly. Be careful, and notify me immediately if there are any issues. Chu Qingyi said, eyes full of concern. Don't worry. Lu Chongsheng smiled slightly. After Chu Qingyi entered the Tianyuan Lotus, he let out a long breath of turbid energy. Then, holding 2 superior-grade spirit stones, he sat cross-legged on the golden-winged Heavenly Peng, adjusting his breath, directing it to fly at full speed to the Immortal Spider Marketplace. Jiang Country, Qingyun Region. A second-rank spirit boat with a golden sheen slowly descended outside by Lake Mountain. On the flying boat, a man and a woman stood side by side. The man looked about 20 years old, with sword-like eyebrows and star-like eyes, a tall figure, wearing a white golden robe, with an impressive and extraordinary presence. The woman appeared 18 or 19 years old, with a lovely appearance, slender figure, wearing a stunning rainbow feather garment, exuding a serene and elegant temperament. Finally, we're back. Lu Qingshan looked at the Bai Lake Mountain before him and grinned. He and his sister had returned this time, and even though they traveled entirely by spiritual vessel, it was quite a hassle, taking a year. In truth, for him, the journey alone was reasonable, even allowing for leisurely sightseeing, but his sister was eager to return home. If you find any errors, ads pop up, ads redirect, broken links, non-standard content, etc., please let us know to report so we can fix it as soon as possible.